Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Arcane Crime Divisions, which is currently live on Kickstarter, and we thought we'd give it a try. Just a quick, weird, coincidental story. Like the week before I found out about this game, I was talking with my wife about the new D&D TV show that's coming out on Paramount Plus. And I was like, I'm not really sure how excited I am for that, because, I mean, it might be cool or whatever. I was like, but if it's like a buddy cop, like, fantasy show, I would watch the crap out of that. And then this Kickstarter happened, and it's essentially a buddy cop RPG, fantasy style. I'm all about it. So, before we dive in, I'm going to have tonight's players introduce themselves. Why don't we start with, because Francois is just bouncing. Why don't we start with Thorn? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your pronouns, please?
Hey there. Yeah, my name's Mortimer Thorn. He, him. Artist, overall drunk robot. Filled with emotions he can't process.
Wait, are we still talking about your character?
A taste of things to come and smashing to be had.
Perfect. All right.
Why he was the pacifist?
I'm not gonna smash people.
Oh, okay, got it.
So wait, if you smash objects that then hit people, are you still being a pacifist?
That's where the conundrum comes in.
Gotcha. I guess we'll find out tonight.
And what about if the object has sentience?
Well, then that's a whole other kettle of fish, and I'll add a whole other neuroses to this character if you'd like. We only got like 2 to 3 hours, so I'll definitely think we can go through all of it.
That's fair. The whole thing is just going to be Francois. I almost said Thorn. Thorn breaking down his issues. Hey,
where's my therapist RPG?
Right?
They have them.
Miko. Miko, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hi, I am Miko, otherwise known as the okayest GM. Hit me up on Twitter if you like, the_okayest_GM. I produce things, run things, play things, GM things, and make things. So, yeah, if you are interested in any of those things, feel free to chat me up.
You got a lot of things going on there.
I do. I'm a pretty busy guy.
Nice. Awesome. Why don't we move on to Sid to tell us all about you?
Hey there, I am Sid. You can find me on the socials at _Sundance Sid, where I'm just out in the world having fun and trying to find the meaning of life, one dice roll at a time.
That's right, playing games while you do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ruining it for everyone. I'm just like, hey Sid, tell me your name. All right, Kevin, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hi, yeah, I'm Kevin. I'm found online at KevRan Games. I am a podcaster, streamer, and longtime RPG enthusiast. I am happy to be here doing stuff on Wonders Haven again. I tonight am playing Tetracabraxus, which is a character who his friends call Teddy, so don't be too worried about that name, y'all. I saw Miko kind of go, whoa,
right.
What are we dealing with? So, but yeah, no, happy to be here, happy to be playing, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought you just made that name to make me have to pronounce it, and then I saw that you were like Teddy for short, and I'm like, thank you!
Yeah. I'm a team player.
So tonight's game is Arcane Crime Division, which is by Imaginary Empire Games. It is currently on Kickstarter. They have just a few days left. They have currently funded, but they're working their way through stretch goals. And you know what? I'm backing it, and I love to get stretch goals, so you should back it too, so I can get more stretch goals. With that.
So everyone can get the stretch goal.
Right. That's what I meant. So we can all get the stretch goals together.
Also, I forgot to say who I'm playing tonight.
Oh, we'll get to that
Yeah,
anyway. Yeah, we'll get to our vignettes. So, the game of Arcane Crime Division is set in a fictional world. We needed the little the disclaimer at the beginning of this that nothing in this game is real. It's all fictional. No.
all works of fiction.
Right.
Anything related is unintended. Yeah.
No automatons have been harmed in the filming of this broadcast.
Not yet.
Not yet. On the outside. On the inside, we'll find out. But it is set in the city of Polarity, which has multiple districts. It is a fantasy city that has gone through a lot of strife and peril, but also has flourishing districts and a lot of art and music and industry and all of these things. And there is a citadel that sits in one of the districts. I think it's the Foundation District, in which the Arcane Crimes Division is headquartered, along with several other units that take kind of the government side of the city. So essentially the game starts with a roll call where the detectives are all meeting in the morning to get their assignments for the day. And in order to kind of preface this and introduce your characters, you do a vignette. And so you don't just say, this is my character, you say, my character, and you kind of describe them doing a thing that might be cinematic, or it might just be fun or funny. It might be something like arresting a petty crook or getting coffee. So I'm not going to call on anyone. Someone can step up to be first. Who would like to go and tell me about your character?
I got you. I'll
Okay.
go first. I will take the plunge. I am playing Cassadaren Korevin, she, her, an ice elf frost caster, as it is called in this world. As the camera pans in, we see it moving across the cityscape until it reaches the Midtown district, where it focuses more on one particular condominium-style building, zooming in close on the very, very tiny balcony that you see of a modest income establishment, not run down by any means, well kept at the very least, although perhaps not as wealthy a place as others within this illustrious city, where you see Cass, as she goes by for short, leaning against the side rail of the balcony, looking out across the city, her long white hair kind of messy at the moment as she is just getting started with her morning, and seemingly looking a bit haggard, perhaps from a long night or a few long days, as it might have been. And as she just sits there contemplating, you see another figure step out onto the balcony behind her. Another elf, similar kind of very, very pale with hints of blue in the skin, stepping out beside her and simply handing her a coffee. Her cold demeanor that she had as she was looking out across the city instantly vanishes as she catches sight of the coffee and knows that her husband has come out to give her what makes her get up in the morning and actually be able to function. She just takes the coffee, takes a sip, and leans into him very hard, her icy exterior, unintended, just melting away, as she knows that this man, Darren, takes very good care of her and her son, Darren Jr. The two of them sit there for a few long moments, just silently sharing their coffee before she stands up, knowing what time it is, downs the coffee, turns and looks toward him, staring him in the eyes, having to look up at him because she's not very tall herself, as she says, "Well, it is time to get working, I guess. You do your best today, okay?" And she just reaches up and cups the side of his face and looks up at him. He just stares down at her with his loving smile and reaches down, gives her a peck on the forehead, and says, "I always do," before she turns back in, straightens the jacket or the vest over her tunic and goes to grab her her detective's jacket and the very, very large cap that she wears to cover out her hair and eyes from sun or rain. She sighs as she cinches the jacket tightly, affixes her badge to her chest, and heads out for the day, knowing that it is far too early for her son to be awake, but desperately hoping that she manages to make it home in time for dinner this night.
Nice. Do me a favor and roll 1d10 twice, so I need 2 separate numbers.
Okay. The first number is a 3, and the second number is a 10.
Okay. So on your sheet or somewhere, you're going to mark that you have a special contact or some kind of boon within the Greywink district.
Okay.
And within the Garden district.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Good to know.
All right. Who would you like to go after you?
I'm going to pick Sid.
All right, I've been chosen. All right, so camera opens up on skyrise. That's not skyrise or rooftops. You know, in the city. Pans to the back of a gentleman looking out over the city, just taking in the sunrise. And this is Grixton Bigsby. I'm just looking out into the city. Deep breath and with a not with a pained but weathered expression on my face, and just time to get to work. And just makes his way down off the rooftop, just walks the street, grabs a cup of coffee from a street vendor, just picks it up. He was about to hand it off to someone else, just grabs it, drops money, and just keeps going, keeps it moving. And just taking in the smell and the sounds of the city as he just makes his way to the office.
Okay. Now I need you to roll 1d10 twice and give me each number separately.
All right, let's see. 1d10, so that's one is a 5.
Okay.
And the other is a 1.
All right. So your 2 districts are the Tangle and the Embers.
The Tangle and the Embers?
Yep. And then who would you like to go after you?
Let's go with Thorn.
So, the camera shifts to a street filled with fog, lanterns illuminating sort of the early morning here as everyone is getting up and starting to move. We focus on a small bar and zoom inside, within which we see a bartender pouring a glass of whiskey for a patron hunched over at the counter. He's got a sort of inquisitive look on his face as he finishes pouring the drink and slides it over, and a large metal gauntleted hand grabs a glass. "Oh, it'll be $5, sir." And from his coat pocket, the robot sort of fumbles a bit of coin forward and slides it across. "Thank you. I've been having a rough time of it lately." And the bartender kind of curiously is, inquisitively hoping for a tip, is, "Oh yeah, what you got going on?" "I've been having feelings." And he tries to drink the drink, but eventually just ends up smashing it against his face and glass, and sort of the whiskey falls to the ground. "No!" And the bartender's like, hey, I can't have you breaking glasses. It's gonna be extra for that. I'm good for it. I work for the police. Hey, I don't care. Pay it. Yeah, so it's gonna be 10. 10, all right? Oh, look at the time. He kind of looks at his watch. I have to go to work. And leaves the bar as a bartender sort of like chases him out of there. Like, hey, hold on a second. Hey!
I totally like when he does the no, it's like the top down view screaming up at the sky. No. Yep. All right, I need you to roll me 1d10 twice and give me the number separately, please.
Okay, 10. Oh, yeah. Get back here. 2.
So a 10 and a 2?
Yep.
All right, so your districts are the Tangle and the Garden District.
Oh, good. That'll sound good.
And I think that's everyone, right? Okay.
That's right.
I guess that leaves Kevin.
Yes,
Who?
indeed it does. So we will cut to another part of the city. Teddy is very, very upright. He's walking and he's looking around the area that he's in. We notice that he is actually inside the Arcane Crimes Division's headquarters. His shift is not supposed to start for like 2 hours, but he got up nice and bright and early today, before the sun even. And after he took meticulous time organizing the small hoard that he has amassed in his short lifespan, and made sure every single coin, piece of treasure, and artifact were in their proper place and location, alphabetized, of course, and sorted by size within that. He then made his way over to the headquarters. He has been going around the headquarters and doing the same type of activity. He's been making sure that his fellow officers are getting what they need. He has been also making sure that his uniform is very tightly pressed. There's not a hair out of place on this guy. He is an average built person. He has red hair. It's very bright, very noticeable, almost a coppery orange kind of color. A bit of an undercut around the back and the sides. Very clean cut. No facial hair. He's got wide glasses on, and his uniform, as I said, is very well pressed. And he basically looks like if you could take a police officer, let's say out of like the 50s. He's very prim looking. And he's walking around inside the headquarters, and he looks and he sees some other officers come in. They noticeably give him a dirty look when he approaches them and says, good morning, my name is Officer Tedraturaxius, and I am here to report for the first day of duty. And they, okay, yeah, new guy, it's right over there, let's go. And they wave him on to another area where he says, do you have any sort of news about who my partner will be or what my first assignment might be today? And they just give him a look like they are just not to be bothered with this. And they walk on. He goes over to the table where there are these donuts, and he will start trying to offer them to people. And again, nobody seems to have the time for him, so he just adjusts a little bit, make sure he's okay. And he gets a little bit annoyed with all of this, but he is excited for the day.
Nice. And about this time, the receptionist arrives for the split, or like the shift has changed, and in the interim there was really no one at the desk. And so as he sits down and he looks around, he's like, who reorganized my desk? And everyone just kind of looks around at Teddy. Teddy, why don't you roll me 1d10 twice? Give me the number separately, please.
You got it. 9 and 6.
9 and 6. So your districts are the Embers.
Ooh, I like that.
And the Garden District.
Cool.
So, Teddy,
Yes.
you're just kind of hanging out and trying to figure out where you're supposed to be going. Some people have been kind of giving you the cold shoulder, but a kind of stone-skinned looking fellow with stone horns that curl up and around this like mane of hair that seems sculpted walks in the door, and he like kind of shrugs out of an overcoat revealing these large stone wings that somehow seem to move in like an organic fashion, as he kind of flaps off a little bit of raindrops that have settled on him. And he takes off a wide-brimmed hat and shakes it and hands it off to the receptionist, who takes it and puts it back in a coat room. And he looks around and he sees you. Oh, Teddy, excellent. We're gonna be right down in that room over there. Could you grab those donuts and maybe the coffee pot and just take it down there and wait for us down there?
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to. And he will scoop them all up. He, when he grabs the coffee pot, he notices that it's actually a little bit cold. So he's going to turn very quickly, and he has a moment that he does something out of sight. And when he turns back around, it is steaming hot at this point. And yeah, and he makes his way to the room. And as he enters within, he finds a table off to the side to set up these things for the other officers for the meeting.
So as you enter that room, and the motion censored magical lights kind of flicker on. A couple of them take a couple extra like little to like really fully lighten up, but there's like just this kind of sickly yellow paint that you're pretty sure was white at one point, but you notice that near the front of the room there's a large ashtray that's just stuffed full of cigarettes and cigars, and there's some like smoking pipes laying around, and probably just from years of smoking in here, it's just like colored the white room this gross color. The paint's peeling, the desks and chairs and the tables all are well worn, have some water damage. You look up at the ceiling and sure enough there's like some dripping spots on the rafters above you. You head in and you look for the most safest seat to sit in, I suppose, as you kind of look at them, not really sure what to expect as you sit down. And shortly thereafter, the rest of you file in. You enter the room and notice a new face that you haven't seen before. But Francois, your typical partner, what's their name?
Oh, dear God. Jeremy?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Yep.
So you look around after, you enter the room and everyone's kind of getting settled and you don't see Jeremy.
What the fuck?
Where
is Jeremy? Jeremy!
At which point, the gargoyle-ish looking fellow, which is your commander, walks in, and he puts his hand up on your shoulder and he's like, "It's okay, buddy, it's okay. Jeremy called out sick today. He's just going to take the day off. He'll be back tomorrow, but it's all right because I'm going to put you with the new guy. I'm going to put you with the new guy today." That's exciting,
no.
Right? No, it's exciting. It's good. And he's just kind of looking over at you, Teddy. He's like, "No, it's good, right? It's exciting."
Good morning. Yes, it's very nice to meet you. I'm glad to be here. Anything that I can do, I'm really looking forward to working with you and learning a lot about the department and how things work here.
Let me stop you right there. What are your opinions on scheduled bathroom breaks? What are your opinions?
I think it's always important for people to have structure and regularity in their schedules. I mean, of course.
He just slaps a hand on his face and shakes his head. Oh no.
I apologize that I look at the captain, the gargoyle guy.
He smiles and walks off.
Did I make a mistake? Did I not properly answer?
Have a seat. And then I go off and start grabbing a coffee and donuts, sit down, and start ineffectually shoving them in my face.
Yeah, you gotta wonder where does it go? What happens? Do you just fill up? And then...
Yeah, no, it's there's a little bit of rust and everything. It's just kind of like liquids and materials get splashed on my face. He has a weird sort of thing of trying to appear normal or human, quote unquote.
Where are we? Where are we when all of this takes place?
I'm assuming you're in the room, unless you don't want to be yet.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll just walk by him.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Just walk by. Francois, how the donuts today?
good! I cannot taste them!
Right. And I just tap him on his shoulder. Him. Francois.
Yes!
Just tap Francois on the shoulder. It's alright, you enjoy this. And
Thank you.
Take a seat.
You also enjoy your gastric digestion?
Will do.
Teddy moves over to this newcomer and he extends a hand. Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you. I'm Texter Cabraxius. It's very nice to meet you. My friends call me Teddy, though. That's fine if you want to call me that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna try to pronounce all of that. Yeah, new, right?
Yes, it's my first day. I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to learn and see and just get a glimpse of everything.
I just head to toe, just size him up. Who you partner with?
Well, I actually have just met my training partner here, Mr. I'm sorry, repeat your name again. You went through a big whirlwind when you came in here.
Francois!
Francois,
If you cannot
yes.
retain such a name, this bodes well for our partnership.
Oh, no. I'm very sorry. I'm very embarrassed. That will not happen again. It just, like I said, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of intake, but I have memorized it now. It is to memory. Francois, you will be properly addressed. And I'm sorry, what was your name, sir?
Mine?
Yes,
Bigsby.
Bigsby, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Grixton Bigsby. So you
Nice
got
to meet you as
Francois, huh?
well.
How do you feel about scheduled bathroom breaks?
Well, as I was telling Francois here, I think it's always important that people stay regular and that schedules are upheld. It's
Do
always-
you see what I
laugh.
have to deal with?
Laugh. Yeah. You're in a bit of a sticky situation, Francois. I hope you have fun today.
About this time, Cass,
Walk away.
you walk in the door. It looks like the commander is just kind of waiting for everyone to arrive while this is all going on.
Yeah, as soon as Cass kind of steps into the room, she just steps off to the side of the door, sitting and waiting for everyone to like take their seats and just kind of getting a feel for the mood of the room today, given the general cold demeanor by which she carries off. She hates to be the one that sets things off in a bad light at the very beginning. So she kind of just sits back with a little bit of humor watching the new guy, as he has been referred to, get hazed. Once everyone kind of settles in, and particularly once she sees the captain kind of stepping into the room to call order, she looks for a seat near Bigsby and heads over to sit down next to him. Good
As
morning,
she's crossing
Bigsby.
the room,
yeah.
Teddy leans over to Francois. Is that who I think it is?
Shut up, fresh meat. The briefing is about to begin.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
As she sits down next to Bigsby, she says, "Good morning, Grixton. How are you today?"
Same as every day. How are you?
Much better than that, I assure you.
I hope so.
Perhaps today we can make amends for our last encounter as partners and maybe work together better this time. I would very much appreciate another opportunity if you are willing.
Sure. Let's see what the big guy has for us.
Thank you. And like that little is the closest thing that Bigsby has probably ever seen to actual like smiling or joy in Cass. So
Nice. So while this is all going on, some other fellows are walking in. Another ice elf comes in. A dwarven woman, a rock troll comes in and just kind of like scoots past everyone. Like there's the sound of as the table just kind of gets shoved out of the way, and he stands in the back and just kind of hunches there. And the commander says, I think everyone's here, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Pretty quiet day, but I'm just going to have some routine things for people. And he begins to cite off some different jobs that he has for individuals and different partners and such. Yeah, Francois, you're going to be taking the rookie. Pretty easy. There's just a break-in entry, or a breaking and entering, burglary. Just take him down, show him the ropes, keep him safe, and Cass, why don't you... are you two gonna be okay to work together today? You're all that I've got left. I guess I can move some things around if it's gonna be a problem.
Nah, it'll all be fine.
It is fine,
we
Captain.
alright?
We have discussed it, and I think we are going to be very good today.
Okay, well, if there are any issues, just let us know. But there's been a murder. I'm gonna have you two go down and take a look at it. It's out in Lower Grey Trickle. So why
Very
don't
good.
you? I guess that's it. Have a good day,
Captain,
everybody. What?
If I might inquire, Captain, does this one actually this time have anything to do with the arcane? Because the last one I felt a little underutilized, as my investigatory skills
Yeah,
primarily centered
it's-
around arcane matters.
You know what? We can only go by what reports are given to us by the public. You know, they dial. I'm trying to think of a witty 911 reference here, and it's just not coming to me. Sorry. They call us, and it just, sometimes it's a little over exaggerated, the things they tell us. But this is an actual dead person, and apparently magic was involved.
Very good, sir. We will do our utmost to solve it expediently.
And you are welcome to hand it off to, the Flatfoots if nothing else. Is there something wrong? Do you have a cramp? I noticed that you're trying to stretch there. What do you...
I was just hoping to say something if I could, sir.
Oh, well, use your mouth, not your hand.
So Teddy stands up and he turns to address the room. Everyone, I just want to say thank you
Jesus.
very much for allowing me to come in and be a part of the team here. I'm looking to do great works here, and it's an honor to be among officers and other detectives who really know how to handle the city. I really look forward to upholding the standards that we have through the precinct and through the force, and making sure that I can do whatever I can to aid you all. Thank you so very much for having me here.
Captain,
Yeah.
can I get a new partner?
I'm sure tomorrow will be a much different day.
Will it?
Here's to hoping. All right,
Oh, God.
you all have a great day. And he walks
Thank
out.
you, sir.
All right, so let's actually begin with Teddy and Francois.
Oh, God.
As you were heading out to the Garden District.
So, do you patrol in the Garden District often?
Far too much for my liking. A lot of living things grow there.
Of course, that makes sense. Do you have any sort of preliminary information about this case we're supposed to go work on, or are we
Something was broken and subsequently entered.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, that seems to go along. And
From
I pull
there,
out my
we're on
notebook
our
to
own.
the notes that I was taking during the meeting. Yes, and I'll add to it with some of what he just said.
There was like a brief that you were given that just kind of described where it was at and the owner of the establishment and such. So you're heading out to the Dream Market in the Garden District. You know that this area, the whole of the Garden District, is kind of an upper end area of the city. It's wealth and extravagance, but it also kind of sits isolated a little bit from the rest of the city and has its own what's the word I'm looking for here?
Flavor.
Definitely flavor. So it's kind of like surrounded by a river, and so it's kind of like sectioned off a little bit there. And you know that the Dream Market is where some pretty high-end magic shops are. And the
Ah,
one
I
that
see.
you were instructed to head to is Wanda's Wonderful Wares.
Oh.
And you're supposed to look for Wanda.
Excellent. I'm assuming we can navigate there without any problem.
Correct,
Or
yeah.
is there... Okay.
Yep. But if you have the Garden District as one of your districts,
Yes.
please add 1 verve to your sheet.
And that's
Hell
for
yeah.
each of us, so we each would.
Uh,
Verb is a
only-
separate thing for each of us?
So only if you have the district that you like. So
Yep.
in your selected districts,
Yep.
if you have the one that you enter for the first time, you get 1 verve for that.
Cool.
Excellent.
So it sounds like we both get one. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Do
All
we
right.
start with
and-
any verb, by the way?
Well, that's a great question.
That is a great question. So anyway,
We start with 50 verb.
That's on a need-to-know basis there, soldier.
I feel like I knew the answer to this before we started, and now I can't remember. But what you have the time to do right now, right
I'm
this
doing
moment, is take a look and let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
All
got
right.
you.
So I'm gonna switch our screen over here real quick and explain how Arcane Crimes Division works a little bit. So there are different scenes called cases, and each case has a case progress, collateral damage, which can be caused by the investigators and or their quarry, I guess. And there's a time cost. So there is an ongoing event essentially happening as you're investigating, and if you fall behind the event, then as you progress, your quarry is going to get extra boons against you in the end. Does that all make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so you are trying to get your case progress to 8. I'm double checking this before I say it. You're trying to get your case progress to 8 before the time runs out. And your time should be... Sorry. Your time is also 8. So depending on the rolls that you make, you might get a boost to your time, which is bad, or you might get a boost to your progress, which is good. The middle rolls kind of do both, so you're progressing just kind of together with your time. But as you approach this building, it looks like a gigantic witch's hat has been set upon this building, and there are several windows that peek out from its not brim, but like the cone of its hat. There are some little waterfalls of glitter that kind of fall down from the brim, and looks like they're being caught by statues that are
My
underneath
servos, no.
it. There's like statues that circle the building that seem to catch it, and then the glitter disappears. It doesn't seem to go anywhere. It just disappears from there. It doesn't fill up their hands. But as you get closer, you can tell right away that something is amiss, as a few of those statues have been knocked over, and there's just bits of stone and glass kind of lying around on the ground. And looking up, you notice a 3rd-story window has been broken out, and people are kind of walking by, and some people are, just kind of eyeing it and milling about. But you see some regular guards that are kind of keeping people at a distance from the statues themselves. And they see you coming. They're like, "Oh, Francois, thank goodness. If you just want to head on in, you just head up to the 3rd floor, and they're waiting for you."
Hello,
Who's this guy?
meatbags. Will do.
Meatbags, that gets me every time. Who's this?
This is New Meat. New Meat, introduce yourself.
Good morning. I am Tetracabraxis, and it's nice to meet you. We will just be investigating, so
Right,
we appreciate
Rookie.
your cooperation.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Well, new meat, since you're new here, I'll have you take the lead on this. Why don't you get acquainted with the scene?
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you very much for your confidence in my abilities today. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
Let's go right ahead. And as Teddy starts up the stairs, he is going to be doing all of the typical standard scanning and approaching investigation procedures. He is looking at every nook, cranny. He's actually probably moving a little bit slower than Francois would appreciate, but he wants to be very thorough.
As Teddy approaches, Francois pulls a flask from his coat and ineffectually tries to drink from it.
So, are you planning to check out the outside of the building first? Or are you going to head up the stairs? Or this is one of those games where you can split the party and really that's okay.
Okay, that'll probably be what I do, is I'll check the outside. If he's willing to go in and sort of investigate the interior,
Okay.
I'll probably just I'll stay behind and kind of look outside here.
Okay. Is that good with you, Teddy?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I will. I'll start upstairs. We'll meet up shortly then.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Glug,
All right.
glug, glug, glug. All right. So, Teddy,
Mm-hmm.
as you head up the stairs, you just hear, distant mutterings as you go from floor to floor. You don't really see a lot of people, but you hear a lot of, not whispers, but hushed voices behind closed doors. And you can tell that there's a certain energy in the building today, a worry of what's going on. The first floor that you walked into was kind of open. It seems more of a sales room area, and you could see it was difficult to really take in everything. There's vials and crystals and different brooms and sticks and just wands and all of these things that it's really difficult to have your senses catch everything. It's jarring to walk in the first time.
Sure.
But you go up a spiral set of stairs to the second floor, and it seems more like these are offices. And that's where you really start hearing things. And there wasn't really anyone working downstairs. It seems like the shop is closed. And then heading up to the third floor, you get to an open doorway that leads into a larger room. And immediately you get the sense that this is some kind of laboratory or something. There are beakers and flasks and various tomes open and spread about, and there are these strange smells. Some are really pungent and you can't really place what they are, and then you'll smell cinnamon buns, and then something that's really acidic, and it's just very strange walking through this room. But you see a very pale woman with very black hair that's done up into this extravagant, weird, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like this very weird stylized hairdo where it seems to be curls that stick out from all of these different shapes, and it seems almost like if you were to unravel this, her hair would have to be on the floor or beyond that. You're not really sure. And you look around, and she's the only one in here. And she turns and looks at you. What are you doing here?
Well, first off, when I enter into the room, I have a nose for clues. You said there's lots of smells in here.
There are.
Is there anything that I notice of a smell that's something that may be a bit even more peculiar than what you described? Anything that might be part of the problem here? I'm not exactly sure the ability works on the sheet, but it says that I have a very powerful sense of smell. Means that I can detect things that others normally can't.
Okay. So I'm going to go with, let's hold off on that for now, until you kind of start getting an idea of what was going on in here, because then getting a better understanding of what they were making or trying to do, you get oh, well, why am I smelling this then? Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So when I walk in, she'll see I'm wearing the uniform. I have my badge just prominently displayed. I'll say, "Good morning, ma'am. I am Officer Tedrica Braxius, and I'd like to speak with you. We're investigating. There was a disturbance, break-in of some sort."
Is that new? And she just
Is what new?
gestures to all of you.
I assure you that I have been properly trained in the Academy's procedures, and
Oh my. I was told that Francois was going to be joining me.
yes, he is here. Yeah, Detective Francois is here. He is
Oh, good.
investigating outside. Is there something I should be aware of?
So
Do have
you were
what
working
was
with Francois.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
He's my training partner for today.
Okay, much better, much better. Yes, come, please.
Absolutely. He will just, out of making sure he's thorough, he's looking around the room just to
Mhm.
make sure there's not going to be anything.
So
Out of
as
ordinary.
you walk further in, you notice that there's not really much in the way of a sign of a scuffle or anything that's been disturbed. There is the broken window. There's some bits of glass laying on the floor, but not much. And there is a large tapestry that has been ripped off the far wall, revealing what looks like a safe, which has been melted open.
Ooh, okay. Is this the site of the break-in right here, ma'am?
Yes, we believe that they came in through the window and took the stones that were within. Are you sure Francois can't come up? I feel strange telling you this. This is very delicate information.
I understand. He will be up shortly. Yes. And I'm sorry, for my records, I'll pull out my little notebook. What was your name, ma'am?
Oh, I'm Wanda.
Oh, you're Wanda. Excellent. Well, it's nice to meet you. It's a very nice establishment you have here.
She'll hold her hand out.
And he'll reach forward and take it. She'll notice that he has a very strong grip that he then realizes that he's doing a little too strong, so he lightens it up a little bit.
What you notice in response is her grip then strengthens, like gets stronger, and it belies her thin frame. She is much stronger than she appears. And
Excellent.
as she's been talking, you might notice very, very dainty fangs protruding from her upper jaw.
Aha, okay.
So, do you know this area well? Do you know what we do here?
Your shop specifically, or the garden district?
The shop specifically.
Yeah, well, I can tell that you are a magical proprietor that sells different art items necessary for different sort of ceremonies, spells, rituals, I would assume.
Oh, you're quite well learned. Excellent. We also, from time to time, take in rather dangerous objects and secure them in this supposedly impenetrable safe. However, someone obviously has overridden its security and made off with 3 rather dangerous stones.
I see. What exactly do these stones do?
Well, she eyes you once again. They're known as summoning stones, and you summon demons with them.
All right then. And I'm taking notes the whole time that she's writing, or she's speaking.
These are particularly potent ones. They're not going to summon just imps or quasits or anything. These are very powerful, requiring sacrifices to be energized.
That's harrowing. What else could you tell me of note about them? Their size, shape, coloration, any sort of striations that mark them as different, any sort of specific information that I can use? Do they have a certain smell or an odor? Different information like this.
Yes, they smell somewhat of charcoal and iron, with a bit of cocoa. It's the strangest sense. They are about 8.5, 8 3/4 inches tall, made of blackened lava rock, and there are swirling etchings that go from the top to the bottom, and those are inlaid with a very rare bloodstone.
Awesome. They sound like they're very unique indeed. Yes.
They'd be hard to miss.
Mm-hmm. No one was here at the time of the break-in?
So that actually leads me to my next worry, is that our young apprentice was supposed to be prepping things early this morning, and it appears that he's gone missing.
Oh. What is this apprentice's name?
He is unfortunately called Pittance. Apparently his parents didn't think very fondly of him. But I think the world of him. He is just a joy to have in the shop.
Yes, I'm sure that you do. That's great. If I could just get a description of him, we can keep a lookout for him. We'll make sure that if he is gone missing or if any harm has come to him, we'll make sure we take a look into that as well.
Ah, yes, Pittance is small for his age, which is, I believe he is 19? About 5'5"? Has short blonde hair, wide blue eyes, wears reading glasses when necessary, has one unfortunately very crooked tooth, and she continues to kind of give you this description of Pittance. Roll 3d6 for me.
You got it.
And we're gonna go with a investigation, or that's more physical. Interview. We're gonna go with interview for this one. It's essentially the action that you're doing.
Okay.
So, what did you? And so you're gonna take 2 of your dice and tell me
After I roll them.
Yeah. So select 2 of them. For me, I would always choose the highest ones. I'm not totally sure why you would ever choose the lowest, unless there was like a story reason or something.
So I actually have an answer to that.
Oh shoot! I'd love to hear it.
All right, so in doing some more reading, we don't start with any verve, by the way.
Okay.
It is encouraged to use your partner boosts to give your partner's verve.
Right.
You can only use a partner verve or partner boost once per scene, basically, per game. That's why you have so many of them, and they apply to different things.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you, so for example, you might want for your progress in a case to take more time, right? Like if somebody's trying to catch up to the case, like cases moving too fast and all of that sort of thing. So let's say, for example, in this case progress, he didn't he was about to solve the case, but in solving the case, it could cause a problem for someone else. He might want to roll a 6 instead of a 7.
Nice.
Because that adds more time and less progress, right? So it's very situational. 99% of the time, you're probably going to want to take the highest ones.
Interesting.
But it could be inconvenient for you to move too fast in some cases.
That makes sense. I like it. So what are you going to choose?
Well, I'll just take the 2 highest. So my total is a 6.
A
2 threes,
6.
basically.
All right.
Oh.
So
He got a pair. I think that gives him an extra verve, doesn't it?
I believe it does.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You earn a verve for getting
Nice.
that
Like
pair.
that.
But the outcome of that interview is slow going, and so you're going to add 3 time,
Ooh.
and you are going to gain no verb from it, but you're going to get 1 progress. So let me...
So what I'm noticing here is on the special abilities, some of them have, whether they are case, chase, or conflict.
Right. So
descriptors.
this is case.
Right. And then they have basically what the action you're using. So, for example, I have a special ability that is used in case interview.
Oh, perfect.
This ability apply here.
It would.
And I have a powerful presence. People often find my natural power and self-confidence reassuring. It will add 1 progress following a case roll involving an interview. It does say verb cost 1. Does that mean I lose a verb to use this ability? Is that how that
It
works?
would
Yeah,
if you
it
wanted.
costs you a verb to use it.
Okay. Well, why not?
you
We're
can-
doing a one shot here. I'll go ahead and use it.
Yeah.
It's
I'll,
true.
Yeah, so I'll spend 1 because I got 1 from the double, so I might as well spend 1.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'll get another +1 to the progress.
All right.
Didn't you also get one for starting the case because you have Garden District?
Yep. So you should have one left
so I had
over.
2, now I have 1. Yep.
Awesome. So you should now be at case progress 2,
Yes.
and you've racked up 3 time.
Okay.
But you haven't blown anything up yet, so that's good.
That is very good.
I mean, I hope you don't do collateral damage during the case scene.
Right?
That would
Oh.
not be good.
It can happen. It can happen. I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm going to give you a little more information because of your extra progress there.
Oh, nice.
As you're looking around, your your extra sense of smell, as you've kind of been taking in the smells and putting one and one together to be like, oh, this is this project and this is this, just kind of in your head while you're listening to Wanda speak. You get closer to this bottle. Looks like a little spritzer bottle, like a perfume, and sure enough, it has like a very particular florally scent to it. And you just can't really click why that would be in here. And she catches you looking at it. She says, oh, that's Patins's. It's his favorite scent. He likes to wear it. I'm not really sure why it's here, though. Usually he comes in wearing it, and I guess he just brought his bottle with him this morning.
Might I take this as evidence and investigate it?
Oh, of course.
I'll take it. I'll put it hook it onto my belt. I'll put out a little bag and
Right.
put it in the bag, seal it up, label it, initial it, that sort of thing. Then I hook it into a little belt pouch I have.
As you pick it up, there is a scent that's under the floral scent. You can't quite make it out. You're not sure what it is, but it's not a perfume scent at all. It's almost like something has
Okay.
been added to this. And that's what you got with your roll.
Okay, good to know. Good to
Okay.
know.
So we're going to go outside. And outside, there's a large hulking automaton that's trying to take swigs of a flask of whiskey.
Yes.
What are you up to, Francois?
I have like one of the guard who's probably like either nearby or keeping his scene sort of on lockdown, and I'm kind of like trying to talk to him like, have you ever killed someone?
No, I've never had to. I have had to use some pretty hefty tasing magic on someone, but no, I've never had
How
to kill
did that make you feel?
Oh, I was pretty all right with it.
Huh? Why so?
They were being pretty aggressive, and I just wanted, to stop that. And why are you asking me these questions?
Again, like the first flask sort of empties, and he puts it back in his coat and pulls out a second flask and begins to also ineffectually drink from that.
Okay.
No reason, just curious. You humans are an interesting lot.
Well, I think you're pretty interesting too, Detective.
Oh god, don't get attached. And he turns and walks away. And he'll begin to sort of like look around the outside.
Okay.
There was a break-in and entering, so obviously someone had to come in from somewhere and or leave from somewhere. So yeah, he'll like, oh god, meat bags, and begin to look around.
Okay, so you're gonna do an investigation.
Basically an investigate, yes.
Do you have any of your special abilities that?
Not unless I need to deconstruct something / destroy a thing. So,
I mean, I guess that's really up to you. But
yeah,
going back to collateral damage.
Yeah, no, it kind of depends on like where the clues are. So like I'll roll normally here, and if there's
Okay.
something in the way, we can figure that out in a bit.
All right.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry. God dang it. Sorry, we're on Twitch. 13.
That's right. 13. Wait, did you roll d6s or d10s?
3d6.
Okay,
I
so-
rolled a 6,
You only
4, and a
take
3.
two.
So take the top two.
Oh, take 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10. There it is.
10,
Okay,
perfect.
10. Yes.
All right. So,
Getting 13 on 2d6s is exceptional.
it is.
Sorry,
it is.
yes. Okay, apologies.
It's one of those
I
skills
forgot how those
I
worked.
have never been able to master, but
I know, it's a hard one.
I am very drunk. He just as he finishes off the second flask.
right. All right. So you are going to get 3 progress, putting you at 5, and your time is only up by 1, and you're going to gain a verb.
Heck yeah. Look at me being all stylish. Hell yeah. All right.
Time is going to go up by 1. All right. So you are currently at case progress 5, time cost 4. And what does that roll find for you? You are going to notice as you're walking around, you're pretty good. You know about breaking things, having broken things before. And as you walk by the broken statues, it becomes obvious to you, and you're not sure why the flesh bags missed it, but there is more stone that's on the ground than there would be from the broken statues. And
Curious.
and all of the glass is on the outside of the window. You don't, I guess I shouldn't say all of it, you haven't looked inside. There's a great deal of glass that is on the ground, almost like
Yes.
something broke it from
Someone
within.
jumped out. Quite so. You there? And he points to a random guardsman or police officer.
Oh, yes?
Reassemble this statue.
Oh, I don't have that kind of magic, sir, but,
With your hands.
oh, okay, you, come here and help me. And 2 of the guards start, like, kind of mushing the rocks around, and it takes a little bit of time, but it's actually, they're actually pretty good at doing this.
And Francois just drinks from a second flask and pulls out a third while watching.
It is about this time that upstairs, Teddy, you're like looking at that perfume bottle, and you can see this outside as they are reconstructing these statues on the ground outside, and it becomes pretty obvious fairly quickly as they put 2 of the statues together that look like the statues that surround the building with the hands held out and everything. This other statue seems to be shorter and thinner, almost like a young boy with short hair and robes. And one of them is like, why does this one smell like flowers?
Does it match a certain description I was just given? If it was not a statue.
I would say from your vantage point as they're putting it together, yes, it matches a description of a certain person that seems to be missing.
I will slowly turn to Wendy. Miss
Wanda.
Wanda? Wendy? Where am I getting Wendy
Get
from?
it right.
It even says Wanda right here in my notes.
Just shoves
Miss
you out
Wendy.
the window.
He's a newbie.
Nope, that's it. Messing up everybody's names today. Miss Wanda. Have you had any dealings with a Medusa lately?
Oh, we have a Gorgon that works here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's the janitor. She would have been in last night. Why do you ask?
I was just curious. Call it a hunch.
Fucking janitor.
Would she works in the evenings then?
Most often, yes. Usually early in the mornings, and then she comes in late at night to clean up after the day shifts.
Excellent. And might I have her name, and I'll make sure I write it down so I don't mess up any other names.
Yes. Yes, you may. Hang on. Darn you. I have this. I have it. Hang on.
Mildred.
No. No. It is.
It's Wanda
Janice.
too. There,
Janice, the Gorgon janitor.
She did it with a name like Janice. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, thank you.
And about this time, a young human girl comes in, and she's like, Miss Wanda, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is where Sage hasn't come in. She was working late last night, and she should have been here early this morning though, and no one has seen her. Oh, not another one. Do a quick search around the grounds, make sure that she's not here, and please let me know quickly so we can let the detectives know if we have another missing person. And the human
Things are
girl.
stacking up around here.
I tell you, I don't understand what's going on. We've never had issues like this. If word gets out, my business is going to be... Well, we just won't even go there. Because I have trust that you, detective, are going to solve this rather quickly and quietly.
Of course, we are on the case. If you'll excuse me, I must go confer with Francois.
Faster, meat bags!
From outside. As you head down the stairs and get outside, you see your automaton partner yelling at these two human guards that are trying to assemble these statues while the automaton pours whiskey into its gullet.
And I walk up, I tell him all the main highlights of the information she told me. I tell him about the bottle, I show him that I collected it. I'm not going to spend the time, role playing it all out because we all heard it. But, I just kind of go through, break down everything so he has all the information that I have.
Okay.
Excellent! Sounds like we have some people to look upon on. Sorry, having issues. Look upon.
That's fine. And I'll look to the statue. Do we suspect that maybe this pittance isn't exactly missing, that he might still be here? And I'll kind of...
Looking
Where
down,
could he be?
This definitely looks like the boy that was described to you. And there is a certain scent that you can smell wafting up from the statue.
Looks like another one of the hoity-toity statues to me.
Okay. Well, I suggest maybe we come back later, speak with this Janice, get an idea of if she has seen anything, heard anything, or perhaps maybe even was involved with anything.
Excellent idea. I will pretend I think of it. Shit. Sorry.
Well, the way I look at it,
yeah.
we are a team, so I definitely think that any ideas that we come up with are definitely a joint mutual plan and everything that we can take full credit on together.
Sure. And yeah, he will continue to drink there. At this point in time, yeah, I think we have some people to look into here.
Okay.
I think unless there's other stuff for us to sort of like locate on the grounds, it would probably be a good idea to move on and to look into these various individuals whose names we've gotten.
So, Wanda does come outside, and she quietly steps up to the two of you and says, yes, one of our prime enchanters appears to be missing as well. She was last seen in one of the workrooms last night and has since been disappeared, I guess? Oh my god, is that Pittance?
No, it's a statue.
It's a very good facsimile, I will say that.
We've had no such statues made. What is going on?
That's what we're here to find out, and we will.
Could be vanity. I have heard that is also another emotion that individuals suffer from. perhaps they have made it and placed it outside of your shop as part of their vain attempts to get your attention?
Right.
That could be. There's probably a simpler explanation, but that could very well be.
I am concerned that we have a rogue in our midst. As odd as it may seem, that the janitor might be involved, but this obviously is what remains of our young pittance.
It would certainly appear so, unless there's more information to be gathered when we speak to Janice later. There might be some information in this storeroom that you said the missing Sage, I believe the other assistant referred to the person as. Or maybe that was a title that they had. I could be flipping through the notebook. Yeah, Sage is what I wrote down.
Sage, yeah.
Sage didn't come in this morning. So we could investigate that storeroom. I'll kind of look at Francois, like, unless you just want to wait until Janice comes in.
So
Okay, that's the idea. Do we want to search a storeroom or go after Janice?
Why don't
Or
you
is
search the store? Okay, so this is where I'm
Like, is it okay? Yeah.
I'm not totally sure about the rules, and maybe any of you that looked at them might be able to clarify. So what happens when you kind of stall out, but you haven't reached either your time or your case?
It's just storytelling from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
The time aspect of it is kind of ephemeral.
Right. But like when
Alright,
when they stop looking, so in this case they're like, okay, well we'll stop looking, but they haven't hit their
They're
case.
stopping looking here, but they're moving on to a different
Right.
portion of the scene.
Because, yeah, as far as I can see it, like, the storeroom, if everything's accounted for and, Teddy here has gotten a sort of a inventory of missing things, that's, like, basically all the info I would think we would need. And Janice seems to be the obvious culprit here. And it's probably sort of a, an effect of this individual's long time on the force and or disposition to getting it done as fast as he can. It's like, all right, Janice, stone turning people, sort of just move on to that.
Well,
But,
this might be something inherently built into the system too. I mean, I'm as a player, I'm assuming that this case is like for the entire one shot. Is this one case? Is there more of a need to have like there's multiple things going on for the partnership, and so therefore we want to solve this one, move on to a new case, or is it structured that way where it's the whole?
Right, I see what you're saying. Spoilers? No.
Well, no. What I mean
be
is, like, if it's
overlapping.
something of like we're supposed to solve this, and the time is like actively going,
Right.
then we'd want to be faster. We'd be doing more, I think.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, the scenes that take place across a shift, if I'm understanding because I literally only read this book like the other day.
Right.
The scenes that take place across an entire shift
Right.
take place in multiple locations. Like, you can literally take a person back to the charter house,
Right.
and that continues the case portion of the shift, right?
Right.
So I don't think that there is a requirement that all of the investigation has to take place at the initial scene.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, and I think, okay, so Francois at some point will turn and point at one of the two fucking police officers he had gotten to reassemble things. You two, take an inventory. If anything else is missing, we're going to look for this, Janice.
Okay. So
I'll ask Wanda, because I'm sure she's gonna have records of where she lives or whatever, and so I'll get the address, and then we can go over there.
Okay. Go ahead.
I mean,
and
I'm
roll.
good checking the storeroom. I just if he wants to go look at Janice,
I'm gonna have you
he's-
roll the storeroom since
Sure.
essentially they're looking while you're getting that information,
Yeah, I'll go investigate it.
rather than
Yeah.
you coming back here to get the information later.
Yeah, I'll go investigate it.
This is one of those situations where
Well-
I think my character is just like, yeah, Janice, all right, let's go there.
So the automaton Francois essentially sent the guards to do the inventory. So they're doing that while you're talking to Wanda. So why don't we have Francois do investigation roll?
Heck yeah. Do they need to deconstruct any physical obstacles?
They need to open the door.
Would he be doing interview? Because he's talking with her?
You or Francois?
Yeah, I left that interview to her or to him. So
Yeah, so you're Teddy is interviewing again. Francois, what did you get on your roll?
okay, so roll. Okay, so 2, the highest 7.
7. I
2 is the
apologize.
third die.
A 7 is good progress. Gives you 2 progress in 2 time. So you are close to getting your break. And then, Teddy, why don't you go ahead and roll your interview?
11.
Nice.
6, 5.
So you're gonna get a verb.
Nice.
You're adding 3 progress and 1 time. The case hits its breakthrough.
Very nice.
Like that.
Ding, 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 ding. Nice. All right, so we'll do it this way. The guards come back and find Francois like leaning against the pillar next to the door, kind of shaking the empty flask. It does seem that some ingredients are missing. I'm not totally sure what they're for. Would you like us to take this up to Miss Wanda?
No, give me the list.
There you go.
Thank you very much, meatbags. And he will turn and go up
It's
to
funny every
Miss
time
Wanda.
you say it.
Just ignores him, goes up. Wanda, I have found that you are missing a number of things.
Oh, interesting. Let me see. And she starts looking at it. She has just finished giving you the location of Sage's apartment and Janice's apartment.
Okay.
And her eyes kind of go wide, and she's like, well, this is for a potion that turns people to stone.
Curious.
So I'll pull Francois aside because we don't want to discuss the case in front of active witnesses. That's just not how things go.
Right.
I was like, well, a Gorgon wouldn't have a need to have a chemical that would turn someone to stone. So this might shade this case a little bit differently now. It could perhaps be that maybe Sage is missing because she used a potion. In the spray bottle here, I hold up the little baggie that I have with the bottle in it. But why exactly she's turning pittance and stealing the stones? Maybe this was a deal gone sour. Maybe there was some backstabbing in place.
Yes, seems a bit redundant. I suspect human emotions were involved.
Yeah.
We
It's,
should investigate and speak to these individuals as soon as possible.
I agree. Let's head on out over to Sage's place then, I guess. Unless you want to split up, 2 birds with 1 stone, that sort of thing. I think that's how the saying goes.
I need to make a stop by the liquor store.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not entirely aware of how your physicality would work. Is this going to hamper your ability to investigate today, or are you fully functioning with your...
It won't hamper my ability in the slightest, much to my regret.
I see. Well,
You can't drink feelings away when you can't get drunk.
That's it. I won't interfere with your personal life choices. That is not my place as your new partner. So Yes,
I
let's,
should think not.
let's go. Let's head on out then. Miss Wanda, thank you so very much for the information. We will return if we need to. Let us know if there's any more, and I'll do the whole. If there's any other information.
And just remember, quickly and quietly.
Of course.
And as
Sure.
you walk off down the cobblestone road towards the closest liquor mart, we will shift our focus over to Cass and Bigsby, who are on their way elsewhere. I don't think I told you where yet, did I? Oh, I did. The Lower Grey Trickle, which
Right.
is in the Grey Wink district. Did either of you get the Grey Wink district for your... All right, so you will add one verve when you enter it.
Excellent.
You head down to Lower Grey Trickle, which is kind of at the corner of the river as it wraps around and intersects between the district across the river and Grey Wink. This area is much, I don't say much nicer, but it is fairly better off as far as the construction and the maintenance of the buildings than the rest of Grey Wink. And you get to what looks like a apartment building of sorts, but you notice that many of the windows have heavy metal shutters that seem to be able to close over it, and pretty much immediately, given that they are a staple of life here, you get the feeling that this is kind of a apartment building for vampires. And you notice that there are guards that are milling around outside, and they see you. They're, oh, detectives! Detective, right over here, please!
As we're walking over, I will just very quietly, so that only Bixby can hear me. Have you ever worked with vampires before?
Once or twice,
Hmm.
maybe 3 times. It's hard to keep track sometimes.
Sometimes you don't even know if you are working with some. Be careful. They tend to have an ability to affect the minds of the warm-blooded. And that's my partner boost that I am activating to give one verve to Bixby,
Nice.
where I share an insight into the lives of the warm-blooded.
Okay. All right, so Bigsby, you get your verve.
Verve?
And your verb.
Yeah.
Vroom vroom.
Detectives, if you head on up to the 5th floor, there's a room. You'll see it. There's sunlight inside. It's the only one.
Thank you very much. And I kind of aloofly wait for Bigsby to like open the door and such.
I opened the door.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
As you enter in, you notice that there is a staircase that heads up, or there is a magical lift.
To the staircase and then get my steps in.
Okay.
Very well.
All right.
Staircase
so-
it is.
Is the
As-
lift working?
there's no sign that says otherwise.
Alright, cool. Alright, I'll take the stairs. I just needed to check that out.
Okay. You head up the stairs and you get to the 5th floor. It's fairly well decorated inside. There's red plush carpeting and these black wrought iron wall sconces that have magical lights that flicker like torchlight. There's a heavy odor in the air that seems kind of coppery, irony, something that's
Blood?
kind of blood-like, yeah. But then there's like this floral scent that's over it, and you can pretty much see as you're walking along. There's like these arcane sigils on the wall that are essentially like magical Febrezes that go off every so often to try and like cover the smell for the non-vampiric people that come in. But you do get now down to near the end of the corridor, and there's an open doorway that leads into a well-furnished apartment. Inside, you can see there's like a foyer that opens up into a larger. It's kind of a one-room apartment for the most part, but in the center is a coffin that sits up on a iron kind of dais, and the coffin is open and is trailing ash essentially from the lip of the coffin down onto the floor and then out, and you can see the shape of like legs and then feet of this ashen figure, and there's just kind of some guards standing there looking at it. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. We're not really sure if we should do anything with it. Do we get a dustpan, or we're just gonna let you take care of this? We'll be outside.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Probably the right call.
Scoot, scoot.
What do you do?
All right, so we have a coffin with a ash trail leading. It's leading towards where?
So it looks. Actually, we're gonna. I kind of messed up with Kevin's because I started giving him information before I had him roll. So why don't you tell me how you? So you're gonna investigate. Once you do an investigate roll, so you would do 3d6 and take the top 2, and if you have any abilities that can boost it for investigate, or if
Yeah, I do, but I don't
Cass
have
does.
the verve.
Gotcha.
I don't have enough verve.
You should have 2. Do your thing cost more than 2?
I think.
I thought I only have 1.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because he
the
didn't have the
Oh,
district one.
You didn't have
Yeah,
Grey Wink, right?
right.
Grey Wink is in my district, so I only have the 1.
Gotcha.
Because it would have been real nice if I had 2. I'm 2d6. I'm rolling.
Yeah, 3d6 and take the top 2 unless you want a lower number, which at this point doesn't
Uh,
exist.
Top 2 is an 8.
8. All right, so you're going to gain 2 progress and 2 time. Let me just make a note of this.
All right, let's see what we got here.
So you do notice that the shape of the ashes appears to be humanoid. And it looks like maybe this person was trying to climb into the coffin when they suddenly burst into flames and were rendered into ash. You also notice that inside the coffin, it seems like there is a flashpoint that has bleached like a blast shape in the interior, like velvet and pillows and such.
Okay.
So I can glean they started at a point. They basically were exposed to light, try to get into the coffin, and then something else flashed them. Is what I glean from that description.
Yeah, there's something that maybe exploded, but you're not really sure why it discolored the interior of the coffin.
What does it smell like?
What does it smell like?
Garlic.
It has no smell of its own, but you can smell there's a faint fabric burned smell.
All right.
I'm going to just open the door ever so slightly and speak out to whoever the guardsmen are that are standing outside and say, "Who notified us of this incident?" Are there any witnesses that we need to investigate?
Oh yes, his automaton is in the closet.
Ah. Very well, thank you. And I will head over to the closet and just open it.
Inside is a very slender built automaton. Looks more like it's made to serve than really function as any kind of battle mech, like your fellow detective Francois. And it appears to be just kind of like it has its head turned down and its eyes turned away, and it's shaking ever so slightly. May I help you?
Quite possibly. You may help us. Can you please step out here for a moment?
Of course. Steps out. Clank, clank, clank.
Tell us what it is that caused you to report this to us, please.
Are you planning to interview this automaton?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Interview.
Why
We're
don't
gonna
you-
do it. Yeah, interview.
And is there
Would it
anything?
be...
I have
guess-
yeah. So I'm an expert in lying and good at spotting it in others,
Okay.
and that's my partner boost. So that's a +1 verve.
Excellent. I also have the ability to drop the temperature in the room to speed up cooperation, to give an additional 2 verve
Interesting.
to my partner. So I feel like the two of us are kind of tag teaming him in this moment, but I'm probably like leading the discussion and
Okay.
trying to push and prod to get information as quickly as possible.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll 3d6? Let me know what you get.
Well, that's not awful. 2 4s and a 1, so I'll take the 2 4s, I guess.
8.
Oh, that's doubles, so that's
yeah.
another verb.
Nice. So that's going to add 2 more.
Oh, that's something. Oh, because I had 2 doubles when I rolled.
Yeah. If you get doubles, you get an extra verb.
Oh. Cool. All right. So do I just add another verve to?
Yeah, just put it on your sheet.
Cool.
All right, so you're having a talk with this automaton who introduces itself as Frisky. It tells you that Renault, his master, was getting ready for bed this morning, and it came in to help him when it found him like this. It had seen the master enter the apartment before, and then had gone out to fetch some of Renault's laundry, and had come back to find this mess upon the floor. At which point it realized that Renault had been reduced to ash, and it contacted the ACD.
And who might have wanted to do something like this? Are there any enemies that we should be aware of?
My master does not have enemies. He was a wonderful actor, and everyone appreciated his skill and ability to turn a phrase. He was even doing stand-up 3 nights a week.
Anyone who has spent any time on the stage offends someone at any given point, so you cannot tell me with any kind of real authority that this individual did not upset someone.
Now, I have not been to any of his shows because I'm not allowed in, but I have heard from his own lips that he has knocked them dead and has been a wonderful crowd pleaser. I cannot imagine that anyone would have anything against my master.
There's always one. You know.
And who is your master's, now I guess, former manager?
his name is Jim. I believe one of his business cards is in that drawer over there.
Very well. I shall go and speak to this Jim at some point or another in this investigation, I'm sure. Tell me, what is it that you will do now?
I don't know what I'll do with myself. I'm hoping that I can find another master that is equally as talented and good-natured as my master Renault.
Out of curiosity, how can we be certain that this is your master Renault?
Oh, I didn't think of it that way. I have no way of proving that this is or is not. Don't you have some way, detective?
Perhaps. I'm just curious what it is that made you initially think that this had to have been your master.
Well, he doesn't often bring home guests, and when he does bring someone home, they tend to be breathers. Like yourself.
Non-vamps.
Correct.
Alright.
You can return to your closets now. We will come and speak to you again at some point, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure who I'm supposed to notify at this point that I am a free agent.
We'll,
I do not know either.
yeah, we'll send someone down.
Are you looking for a servant?
No.
It's not a bad idea. But yeah. No, never mind. It'll be weird. If Francois, we'll get someone down to come collect you, and maybe relocate you to somewhere new.
I appreciate it. And he walks back into the closet and slowly shuts the door, watching you. Click.
Alright. So I'm gonna get some of the ash and get a sample of the ash. See if we could get that in the lab, get it tested.
Yeah.
And get a match on Renault. I guess that's how it works. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right?
It's vampires and magic, man. And before, I guess, you said that the windows are covered heavily covered with the big shutters, right?
Yeah, so from outside you could see these like big iron shutters that would close and seal the light out. These are open. Although the window is closed.
The windows closed, they're open. Is it glass windows?
They do appear to be glass, yeah.
So the sun came in. I'm just gonna, I guess, look at those to see if they're damaged or
Sure. Why don't you do
malfunction and
another investigation? So you're gonna roll your 3d6. Give me your top 2, and if you have any more boosts that you can do.
Yeah, so I have a special ability for investigate called There Are Stories.
Okay.
So I can use my extensive criminal knowledge to determine what likely occurred.
Oh, I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, this is
What does that?
you-
What does that do for you?
it add a plus 1d3 progress following a case roll involving an investigation.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so roll your 3d6.
Yahtzee. That's the 6 and a 5, 11.
11. I mean, I guess you can. Is there any point in rolling your d3? You can't get up higher than that.
I'm doing it anyway.
All right, so that's going to give you 3 progress, putting you at 7.
You also get another verve. So
And you get another verve, yep. And 1 time. So as you stroll over to the window and you're looking at it, trying to imagine maybe how this crime went down, and you notice that there are some scuff marks, like some gouges in the paint, like somebody climbed over the windowsill, and the window is unlocked. It looks like it's been pushed most of the way shut, but there's a little wire that is sticking in it to make sure that the window can't be locked again. And your foot strikes something as you're there's like a fainting couch that's leaning up against the wall right there, and your foot kind of kicks something, and you hear it roll and strike the wall.
So I look at that. What's that?
So you look underneath it, and the couch has like these little tassels that are hanging down and kind of blocking, but you pull it to the side, and inside you, or underneath this couch, you see there's it's about this tall. It's made of stone, kind of cylindrical. It's made of black rock of some kind and has these red swirls worked through it.
I got to hear the story that led to this
I think that's
Bigsby
fair.
actually discovering this.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
I have to hear the story. Bigsby asked to recount the story that led him to think to check the window.
All right. So I stand up and I just look to the window, and I face the coffin. Stand in the coffin and say, "All right, so we're here. Big performance last night. We came get ready for bed. Frisky went out, got the laundry. I'm alone. My shutters are closed because the sun is rising. Can't deal with that. Skin's not. Don't have the SPF 5000. It doesn't cut it.
I will interrupt you real quick. As you're explaining that the shutters would be closed, you look up and you can see the chain that would, like, essentially the shutter chain is jammed. So
Scratch
it
that.
couldn't be closed.
Scratch that. I was enjoying the city at night, looking out. Then I decided, oh well, I realized the sun is coming up, so I try to close the shutters, but it's jammed. Why? I turn to look to the coffin. The window flies open. There's someone, but who? This piece is missing to the story. Someone jammed the shutters open. And do I even know what the device seems like?
It looks like a magical rock.
Magical rock. All right, we got parts missing to the story. I guess we have more evidence. We have the window's jammed, but who would want to kill an actor besides the obvious
And about this time,
suspects?
Cass, you notice moving across the window, a small shape quickly moves forward, or rather towards the window. It slams open and it jumps in and tries to grab the rock.
Okay.
You see
Do I have an opportunity to respond?
You will.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So we're going to go into a combat here.
Ooh. Conflict?
Yep, a conflict.
Okay. Actually, before we jump into the conflict, is this a good opportunity for a break?
I was going to say right after the conflict would be perfect, because that's going to be our scene change.
Sounds good.
But we can take a break now if you'd like.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so he tries to grab it. You see this small gnomish fellow wearing the skin-tight suit that seems to have these like climbing hooks built into it so that he could climb the wall outside. As he takes a swipe at sorry, the blade, my brain just turned off. Bigsby, thank you. Bigsby, he takes a swing at Bigsby, gouging his flesh with these hooked gloves that he's wearing. And I'm not going to say that you dropped the thing, the stone. Not on that roll. So you still have it, but you were going to take 2 fatigue.
2 fatigue.
Cass, what do you do in response to that?
Without even a moment of hesitation, she launches a freeze bolt at this gnome.
Okay.
And yelling to Bigsby to look out as she tries to launch it over his shoulder. That costs me 2 verve.
Okay.
Can I chain my partner boost in with this as well?
Which one do you have?
I have conflict, blind opponents momentarily by radiating pearlescent light, so I want to I'm thinking I just encompass that with the freeze bolt.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
In that moment of hesitation, to give Bigsby another verve.
Sure.
It's the sunlight at just the right time.
Right, yeah.
All right, so it flashes and you hear, ah!
Okay, so a blast of chilling cold that encases the target in ice for a short time. In addition to the fatigue inflicted from this attack, which I don't know how much fatigue it does, until the target's next turn, all attacks against them inflict +1 fatigue.
Okay, so and the amount of fatigue will depend on what you roll when you do your 3d6.
Oh, so I just roll 3d6?
Yeah, so roll your 3d6.
Okay. Oof. That's a 3, a 2, and a 1, so 5.
That's really the lowest that you wanted, so you're going to inflict 1 fatigue from your attack, and then your attack does an extra 1? Is that what you said?
All attacks against them do an extra 1.
Do you think this attack, or is it all subsequent? Okay.
All other attacks.
Okay. So
although it's worded weird, it says all attacks other against them instead of all other attacks against them. I'm guessing that's a typo.
Okay, so your bolt shoots sword, like this thin casing of ice forms over, and has also the like light. There was a flash with it, so he's also blinded. Correct?
Yes, but all that does is add verve to Bigsby.
Okay, so Bigsby gets 1 extra verve?
Yes.
All right, Bigsby, what do you do?
So I duck and sort of dive out of the way of the ice bolt, frost bolt, and I kind of tuck and roll. When I come out of the roll, I'm going to just muscle memory, use a blade storm. That's 2 verve. This cost me 2 verve to hurl a barrage of knives, throwing stars, and magical darts at a single target in rapid succession.
It's like a gambit thing right there. Yeah.
So I duck and dodge, and just the trench coat, one side of the trench coat flies back, and you just a barrage.
Nice. All right, so roll your 3d6.
Sharp, rope, and weak. A successful attack inflicts an additional +2 fatigue on a single opponent.
Nice.
That's say 11 again.
11. So you're going to do 5 total fatigue because you're doing an extra one from your
Six.
attack, an extra one from the ice, so that
Well, yeah, I think he said it. I think he said he gets an extra 2.
I get an extra 2.
2.
So
Okay,
it'll be
so
6 total.
6 total. Yep, 6
Oh, yeah,
total,
roll
and you
the
did okay.
11.
You get a verve back
Mhm.
from that roll, and you take another turn.
I wasn't expecting this.
Right?
Um.
So as you like come back up on your heels from throwing all of these sharp, pointy objects, what do you do?
So I just I blanked out for a minute. Whoa. Okay. Well, man, didn't mean to do that. And I just walk over to him and just say, "Who are you?" And grab him by the scruff.
I mean, he's frozen, so he's just like,
Hey, who are you and what do you want?
"Who's your daddy and what does he do?"
I think we're still in conflict mode though, so like we don't get to interrogate, right? Not yet,
so
anyway.
until
We have
he's
to- we have to-
unfrozen,
we have
I guess
to-
you can yell at him, but like it's not technically doing
Right.
anything.
I think we have to end the conflict before we can go back to case and get into interrogation.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. Partner boost. I'm gonna create a bluff. So I'm gonna create a bluff that could provide a critical advantage to say, all right, so we have 7 officers, 7 detectives downstairs waiting. So it behoove you to, be a bit forthcoming with the answers, and I'll just then give
Is that a conflict boost?
yeah, it's a conflict. A creative bluff can provide a critical advantage.
So it gives you
Oh, nice.
+1
Okay.
verve.
Yeah, it gives you
Is it-
+1 verve.
+1? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and we have 8 more detectives, in the building. So it really behave you to.
So does he
Yes,
get
no.
a turn being frozen, or how does that work?
Well, no, technically our turn is still going. Well, my turn is done because my round ended. But
Right.
for Sid, he still gets to do another conflict roll, and I would guess that in this case it's probably a scenario where like he's causing fatigue by getting the guy to give up,
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
right?
So-
Because
Yeah, I was-
you don't have
I
to
was rolling
activate a
past
special
the-
ability. Yeah, you don't have to activate a special ability in conflict. You can just creatively say, I'm punching the guy in the face, or
Right.
I'm staring him down coldly, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so
That's just my interpretation of the way
Yeah,
conflict
totally.
works, because it kind of gives you open narrative freeformness with it, which is one of the things I really like about this system.
Totally. So yeah, you roll 3d6 again.
Spider Scruff lied to him, and that is a 5.
5. Well, it was enough.
Well, that's all, and also that's an extra fatigue too,
right.
because
So
of the taste and ice thing.
So he just kind of relaxes and looks at you all. Fine, I surrender.
Good choice. As I walk over and kind of stare coolly and nod at Bixby, and he sees the ever slightest curl of a smile at the corner of her mouth.
That's a lot more than I've ever gotten. All right.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. You really should be terrified.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go to break as the
Cool.
characters, the detectives, all head to chill out on their break. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good break. We are here.
It has transported himself to an entirely new city while we were on break.
Ooh.
What district
Whole
is
new
that?
district, baby.
Right?
This is a tangle. That's the high rises in Cityscape.
Nice.
Bixby was looking out over.
I like it. All right, so you all have determined that there was a magical theft of some dangerous demon summoning stones. There was the murder of a vampire at which one of these stones appeared. And so during your break, as you go off to grab some chow or stop at the liquor store, you get beeped. And it says, return back to the headquarters. And so using your skeleton key, you go to the closest door, use your skeleton key, open it, and walk into the main lobby at the Citadel. Two of you are leading a captured gnome who's dripping with frost and water as the ice melts, and
Few knives sticking out of them.
right. And
Pretty
Francois
good.
is like carrying a brown bag filled with brown bags that have bottles of liquor in them.
Hello, fellow officers.
Francois, I told you, you gotta take it easy on those things, man. Bad for your health.
It doesn't affect me any.
Have you
Dear
considered
God,
that it
why
might
doesn't it?
affect the people around you, though? Some of these individuals that we work with might be dealing with their own alcohol issues, and every time you walk in with 25 bags of alcohol, it just makes them want to get back on the bottle, and they should not be on the bottle.
Please tell me, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it makes me feel nothing. All I ever drink is coffee.
Nothing. Nothing is of no use to me. You there, how do you feel?
Me?
Yes.
I don't know. People's problems are their problems, Yeah.
Oh, you are all useless. And he goes and sits at a desk with his 25 bags.
Well, to be honest, the 25 bags, it is against Protocol 71.4. I really didn't want to say anything before because we're trying to establish a rapport as me being your training partner, but really, it really is kind of unprofessional since you're asking how we all feel
The
about
rules
it.
stipulate ingestion of alcoholic substances.
At which point you hear these heavy footsteps as the commander walks in. And he's looking through some files and he says, the automaton's correct. He's not actually ingesting it. Anyway, some of the guards that were sent over looking for this sage that's missing found their apartment ransacked. Doesn't look like there's any sign of them being there, though. And they did find this Janice, who is down in holding if you want to interrogate her. But it does look like you also found that perhaps there was some potion used to turn this boy into a statue.
Yeah, I'd like to get this to the artificers, and I'll pull up the baggie, see what they can make of it, have them take a look, and see if they can figure out exactly what its composition is, that we can know exactly what we're dealing with here. I got to be honest. I was expecting this to be a little bit faster. I really want to make a good impression. I really want to make sure I do this job correctly for you, Commander. So I'm really trying to hold it together, but I'm getting a little frustrated with my own success here today. So,
What do you think, Francois? Is he doing all right?
Sure, for a meat bag. How did Janice look when she came in?
I mean, that is the highest praise that you're gonna get from. And she just kind of gestures. Janice was a little disheveled. She looked worried, but other than that, she looked like a gorgon.
Did you look upon her?
I mean, you can look upon them, just, they have to use their gaze.
What? I got to be honest, and I'll approach Cass. I've studied all of your cases when I was in the academy. I'm a huge fan of your work. I would be absolutely honored if you would go in and help me interrogate this suspect, see if we can find out exactly what's going on and find out exactly what their plans are for the stones. I would just love to watch a master at work.
Are you sure you're speaking to the right person?
Yes, you are Casadera and Cadera, correct?
No, I am not. My name is Casadera Corredin.
Oh, well, Kevin apparently just can't write any notes today.
It's his first day.
Thought you had a fan there. Hey, newbie.
And your name, new person, is Tetracarpraxis. Am I correct?
Well, that's close. I am not really in the habit of correcting people, but yeah, that's close enough.
Look, Teddy, I am happy to go in and help you investigate in whatever interrogation you are looking, but do not think that you need to ingratiate yourself to your partners, the potential partners for the future. In this matter, what you do will bring all the attention that you need from the people around you, not what you say.
Dear God,
Understood.
will it?
Otherwise, we would have gotten rid of this automaton a long time ago if we based things on what people say.
I walk over to the scoreboard. Francois has 16 cast, and I just erase it. Cass is up 17. And then there's a sticky note. There's like a sticky note that's just plastered on the board that says "new guy."
FNG.
Yeah.
She's in interview room 1 if you want to talk to her. I'm heading out to lunch. And he
Very good.
heads out.
Thank you, Commander. Lead the way, Teddy.
Before they walk away, just say, "Hey, Toby, come here." And just some random guy say, "All right," and I take the baggie from the new guy, the ashes, and I guess the stone, and say, "Yeah, get those down to the artificers. See what they can find out."
Oh, right
Come
away,
on,
sir.
let's go. Yeah, come on.
All right. Is everyone heading down to watch this interview?
Yes.
I would like to watch the new guy be turned to stone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Cass,
Teddy
are you
takes him up
going in with Teddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go in with him.
So you enter this small room. The paint here has long ago chipped away, revealing just the kind of crumbling but still sturdy stonework of the walls. But inlaid into one of the walls is a mirror that can only be viewed through one side magically. And so Francois and Bigsby head into the other room so they can watch the interview, while Teddy and Cass enter. And chained to the table is a small, fairly daintily built woman whose head is just covered in a conglomeration of black and yellow vipers. She has some dark spectacles on her face, and she just is kind of sitting there somewhat resigned. And as you walk in, she looks up. "Oh, can I go home now? Did you figure it out?"
Ass just stares at her, cold, ice blue eyes staring daggers at her. No,
I'm
you
sorry.
cannot leave this yet.
Oh.
There is much to answer for these crimes that have been committed.
What crimes? No, I didn't do anything. I thought you realized that.
Well,
Oh, really?
the truth will win out in this day. Teddy unclenches his fist. He's been really kind of irritated with himself, disappointed with himself for the way he acted, and he's going to actually sit down. He points to the chair that's across the table from Janice. "May I have a seat? Can we have a conversation?"
Of course. She looks around a little confused.
He
Out of
pulls
curiosity,
back.
before we dive too much into the RP here, can we, in this case, since we're not technically partners from before, use our boosts on each other?
Sure.
That's a big question.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for this end part, there aren't technically rules that I saw for groups coming together, but this is totally that like, oh, our case is your case, it's one case kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so you are all now partners absolutely for this game.
Excellent.
Yeah, so he pulls out the chair. He does the Riker maneuver, steps over it, and sits down. And
Do you have a tail?
well, no, he's in human form. So
I
Although,
was just wondering how.
I mean,
right?
he could potentially use his, if we can use them on each other, doesn't he? Don't you have a, give glimpse of your true form?
yeah, I have abilities.
Maybe
like
that would expose a tail and, big snout and such.
Mm-hmm. So he sits down. He just looks at her for a moment. Well, walk us through exactly what you were doing last night, if you don't mind.
Hey, you want to know exactly what I was doing?
Yes.
Okay, well, I clocked in at 6 o'clock, as usual. I walked down the hallway to the broom closet. I opened the broom closet. I stepped into the broom closet. From there, I needed to do some dusting first, and so I grabbed the dust rag and the magical spray that makes all of the dust cling to the rag, and I started with room A1.
Okay, let's imagine that I don't need to be explained like I'm an imbecile. Just go through a general, like, for example, all of those steps could have been I went through my cleaning process.
You wanted to know what I did exactly.
Can I use my ice in the veins interrogation skill here? Like, are we trying to track a progress meter in this still?
You absolutely
Or no?
can.
But like the only point of me doing it is because all it does is add to my progress.
Right.
So, are we tracking progress and time here
Right.
again? Okay, cool.
And you.
So yeah, I'm
absolutely can use
gonna
that.
spend a verve to use my ice in the veins, which allows me to detect almost imperceptible increases in heat caused by lying. And I just would like to know if she's lying.
Okay. So, as this progresses, you don't get the sense that she's lying at all. She's very confused as to what your rookie partner is asking. Like, she's very literal, and so when he's asking for walk me through exactly what you did, she did that, and then he's like, no, don't talk to me like I'm stupid, and she starts crying and all that. And so sooner or later it gets out that you want a generalized version of what happened. And why don't we go ahead and do a roll at this point?
I just did one, and I got double 6s and a 3.
Nice.
So I get an additional +1 progress.
Right.
From my ice in the veins. I get my verve cost back, so that's 4 progress for one time.
Okay. And
so I'm just sitting there, like, staring at her and trying to watch and see if there's any inflection that I can pick up on to indicate that she is anything other than an innocent bystander in this circumstance.
So as she's walking Teddy through it and you're watching, there comes a point where she's like talking about seeing Sage in the workshop, and there's a moment of hesitation, but then she says, I feel like she was working on something that she wasn't supposed to be, but I don't know what that was. And she's not lying. But I did hear that there were ingredients taken from the storeroom.
Not just ingredients, but powerful artifacts and objects apparently have been taken as well, and some of them were apparently used to kill a vampire across town.
A vampire? Why would you
Indeed.
kill a vampire with...
Well, do you know that Wanda's a vampire?
I do. I work for Wanda. She's wonderful. Wonderful
keep
Wanda.
I keep hearing that all these vampires are so wonderful, and yet I keep telling myself that it cannot possibly be true without the manipulation of the mind.
I mean, I've certainly encountered vampires that were not so wonderful while working at the wondrous workshop?
Wanda's wonderful wares. one might
Wonderful
say.
wares, thank you.
She gets visitors such as this very often.
I'm sorry, what was that?
She gets visitors such as this very often. Wanda does.
She gets visitors of all sorts. People of all kinds come in to purchase the goods that are made in the workshop.
And have any of these individuals most recently been of the gnomish variety?
Gnomish. That's a good question. Hold, please. While this conversation's going on, is there anything that the viewers can do in the other room as far as Bigsby and Francois?
I was waiting for a good opportunity for it, and I haven't heard one crop up just yet.
Okay.
So we'll see.
You just let me
I'm
know.
assuming you guys are taking bets as to how long it takes before Cass ices someone.
Yeah, and I'm sure Sid or I share a couple of flask or two with Sid there if he's interested.
Back in the interrogation room,
Yes.
Teddy's gonna slam his hand down on the table. This is a waste of time. And he stands up and he storms to the door. He says, I'm gonna get some air. He calms himself. And when he's calming himself, you would see Cass that for a moment his eyes glow yellow and they look reptilian as opposed to humanoid. Then he opens the door and closes it behind him. The other two of you will notice that he storms down the hall. He's muttering something angrily to himself as he moves down the hallway and goes out to step outside for a second.
Turn back and look at the young woman and say, "Now look what you have done. You have upset my partner."
I don't know why he's so angry at me. He has anger issues.
She just coolly strides over and sits down on the table in front of her. That being what it may, your fate may rely on his hand.
I've told you everything I know. Except for the thing that you asked about the gnome, and I can't seem to remember.
But I think perhaps you should stay in here for a little bit longer and see if some time perhaps will jog your memory. It might be very beneficial for you to understand and to tell us more. Anything that you can think of relevant to the case. And she just coolly starts walking towards the door.
I feel like I don't want to speak ill of her, but Sage has been unhappy with her work. She feels like she could be doing more, but she can't seem to get better at her magic.
I think that's okay. So that's when you hear a thump on the window of a large metallic fist on the back end of the glass.
Oh, jeez!
And is
What
there
was that?
some sort of like speaker or anything through there?
Yeah, sure. There's
Or-
a magical speaker. Why not?
Ask her how it makes her feel. What is she feeling?
I'm scared. Please make it stop.
And that is my partner boost of case interview. Ask
Okay.
questions about the nature of emotion.
Okay.
Nice.
Does that give him?
It says
verve?
+1 verve.
Okay. Is it to
Verve
both of them or
here.
just what's that?
That all it says is +1 verve, so I don't know if it's multiple or anything. That's all I got.
I think you probably have to pick a person
Okay.
that gets the verb.
Well, the person's still in the room then, so.
Okay.
Cool. I will take it. And Cass will just look back, still staring at this young woman with cold eyes, and say, "Yes, you need some time. Take a little time and think through what you are going to say next." And she just leaves the room.
Okay.
Looks down the hallway after Teddy. I'm assuming she doesn't see him. Yeah.
No.
Steps into the dark room. Looks at where did my notes go? Looks at Bigsby and Francois and says, "Seems to me that we need to track down this Sage person. They are the most likely suspect at this point.
Yes, quite. How did you think she was feeling in there?
I think she was feeling scared out of her mind. You did a very good job of scaring her. You should probably work on your empathy.
Thank you.
Grixton, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to give Sage a visit, or find Sage at least. The officer said their apartment was ransacked, right?
Was it Sage's
Yes.
apartment?
Yeah, it was Sage's apartment. Yeah, and
Ransacked or made
tossed.
to look like perhaps a ransack? Maybe she was trying to collect all of her things in a hurry to get out as quick as she could.
That sounds plausible. Where'd the new kid go?
He went for some air.
Where did the
Yeah,
new kid go? As we
He has a bit of temper.
See that?
Yes, many of you fragile meatbags do.
So where is
You know,
Teddy
you're-
right now?
Teddy is right out front of the building. He's pacing back and forth, and he's trying to get himself under control.
Okay. So about this time, a guard comes out. Sir? I can
What?
come back later if you need a break.
What do you need?
I was just told to tell you that the Bertrand, the gnome that you brought in, wants to talk with you. Well, not with you, but you're the only detective available.
Teddy thinks about the fact that he has a job to do, and that's more important, so he takes a deep breath. Thank you. That's I'll talk with him. Thank you very much for the information.
As he walks away, you hear the guard mutter that he's glad that these uniforms are fireproof.
So I'll go down to the other. Is he in an interrogation room, this gnome?
He's actually in a cell.
He's in a cell. Okay. So I'll walk up and I'll say, I heard you wanted to speak with somebody. Here I am.
Yes, I want to cut a deal.
Sorry, I'm not the one who cuts deals, but what did you have in mind?
I want immunity for what's been going on. I want it to be over and I want to go home.
Okay, well, tell me what happened and we'll see what we can do.
There's a woman who forced me into doing this, and if I tell you where she is with the other stones, will you put in a good word for me so that I can be that go?
What woman was this?
She's her name is Sage. She works at the magic shop where the stones were taken from.
Okay. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And Teddy will turn and leave,
Okay.
and I'll go to where the others are.
Are you gonna send them in to let me out? And his voice just fades as you leave.
And since he attacked a fellow officer, I have no intentions of doing anything immediately, but I'll say that he gave me this information, sure. I'll go back to where the others are.
Okay.
We think we might have another option to go.
Oh, look, new meat. What is this option?
Well, you and I suspected that Sage might be involved as well. Looks like our gnomish friend who liked to attack the fellow officers confirmed such a thing. We have her address, I say, holding up my notebook. So I think it's time we pay the apartment a visit just to see if there's anything there. I think we have been tried to make to look like fools, and I don't really appreciate that. So
Yes, you certainly have. And he finishes off a flask and throws it away. Fine, let
I
us
feel like you should eat
investigate.
them.
I go to the scoreboard and I update Francois. From 16 to 17.
I
You're on a-
Boom,
you're on a roll
got
this
him.
week.
I will point out, hello, kitty tail. I will point out that the gnome said he would tell you where Sage is, but didn't tell you yet.
Well, I do have her address from talking
you
with
do,
Wanda. Though.
and you were told that
Address has
the
nothing.
guards had already like checked it, and it was like tossed essentially.
Oh, so she's not at her house. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go talk to the gnome.
Yeah, we'll go back. I'll take them back to the gnome then.
Okay.
Oh, newbie, you didn't get all the information. Tisk, tisk.
Update the board.
He just like rages,
He
turns
looks like
into a
first day
dragon,
under
the
a lot of
building
stress,
falls
okay?
He's
down.
on a roll this week, Francois, man. I don't know.
Francois, do we need to remind you what happened to all of the chairs and tables in this building when you were on your first day?
Yes, I ate them. I understand.
This was not a good look for you, was it? And this was the first day. Perhaps you should cut the new person some slack for at least a little bit. Maybe at least until he has some better way to defend himself from you.
Potentially. Why do you feel such ways?
Because that is the nature of us, as you like to say, meatbags.
Interesting. Let us continue.
So this
Indeed.
conversation is taking place as you're going down the spiral staircase into the dungeons below, and Teddy leads you to a cell where the gnome is waiting. Oh, did you come to let me out?
What? Why are we letting you out?
Oh, hey, I'm really sorry about getting you earlier. I just was trying to grab that out of your hand, and I just got a little carried away.
Why are we letting you out?
Oh, right, because I have information on where Sage is. And Sage is the one who stole those stones and killed that vampire.
So you want to cut a deal?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is
All
the
right, so-
making a deal committee, so
So information for letting you go?
Yeah, I just want to go home. I want to be done with it. If you could take her out, I won't be forced to do these things anymore that I didn't want to do in the first place.
How have
Alright.
doing these things made you feel?
They've made me feel terrible. Just terrible.
Is that a good thing?
No.
it's- Yeah, not normally. So information. What you got?
Can you let me out?
What do you got?
I can tell you where
Show
she
me
is.
what you got. Where is she?
I mean, she only has 2 of the stones, but I know she's crazy enough to try to do it if she only has 2.
I'm
Hard to do
I'm
that.
sorry. I turn to everyone. Am I speaking? You know,
What?
a different
I'd like
language?
I'd like to get out first.
Where is Sage?
Okay, how about she's in the embers, but I'm not telling you where until you let me out.
I open the cell.
Cell door.
I
Okay.
open the cell door. Where's Sage?
She's down in the furnace. There's like one of the factories has been closed for renovations, and she's gonna use the foreman as like the final sacrifice. But like, she doesn't even know that I've been caught yet, and you guys have like hours yet before she tries to do that. You could totally get to her before she does that. You could save lives, and you were.
How do you know all this?
It's what she told me in her mad ranting about her plan when she was
Why would she trust
blackmailing
you?
me. Oh,
And
she
you're
doesn't.
sure?
She doesn't trust me at all. But she's got a hold over me. She's threatening my family.
All right.
you're
Anything
sure
else?
This is where she's at.
I'm sorry. What was that?
You're sure this is where she's at?
It's where she told me to meet her with the stone after it was charged.
I see.
Alright. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
I
so
close
for
the
that
cell.
information, damn it, damn it.
What are you
For that
doing?
for that information, you're free to go. However,
Huh?
we toss him back in. You're under arrest for assaulting an officer. And I slam the door.
No, no.
And walk
You'll be
away.
safer here than
That was
out
better.
there with Sage able to find you. We'll be back to let you out. Don't worry.
He's like yelling, and then that sinks in, and he just kind of walks back and sits down on one of the benches. You're not going to bring
Not
her
too
back here, are you?
Maybe.
How would
see
you
that
feel
as a-
about that?
Bad. I feel bad.
Good.
Well, if she's looking to sacrifice somebody, we're running out of time.
And we should go.
Yes, I agree. Haste. Newbie, let's go.
And I'll make my way outside,
Okay.
and I'll say, how fast can we get there?
Yeah, so I guess, since we're all kind of like moving to travel to this area, what's a distance from our sort of precinct headquarters here?
I have no idea, but we're gonna say it takes
Dope.
some time to get there. There's not like a full-on map of the
Yeah.
city in this, but it's over there.
Hey, nice.
Over there.
Yeah. You look out and the big cloud of darkness. That's what you want to head towards.
Hell yeah. All right.
We go that way.
Right. Are you all heading off together to do this, or are any of you just going to be like, no, I'm calling it for the day?
Nah, we'll head off. I'm in.
Okay.
Everybody, I just want to apologize for my outburst. I'm here to make sure this gets handled. If all of you would be willing to let me move past that, I assure you that I will not let you down again.
Do you feel strongly about this?
I feel so strongly about this.
How?
How?
Yes.
I just look to everybody. I just do.
Hmm.
The entire walk there is why, because, why, because,
Yeah.
why,
Are we there yet?
right? No.
I will say just before we left the precinct that Cass took a moment to stop off and use a magical scroll to let her husband know that she's chasing down someone summoning a demon and very likely isn't going to make it home in time to tuck her son in.
Aww. Bad Sage. Bad. Okay, so essentially you leave your district, you head down through... I can tell you that you head through Greywink and end up crossing the Grey River at Ingenuity Bridge, and then the furnace is a few areas away from that. A lot of this area, this district in general, are smokestack type factories where they're just like spewing black smoke out. There's a bit of ash falling over you. There's just a layer of grime and soot on everything. Walking through Stoke Street, there's just rows and rows of empty cavernous warehouses. But up ahead you see the furnace. It just seems to glow as the sun's starting to like descend in the sky. It's kind of evened out by the glow of the furnace, which are all of these factories topped with these smoke belching chimneys. And you follow the directions that the gnome gave you to a certain one, and there are signs that says it's closed for renovations, but you notice that there's a door right over there that's cracked open ever so slightly.
Do I get a verb for
You do.
verb for this?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
entered the embers, or if you have the embers as one of your districts, you pick up a verb.
Nice.
Also, just to confirm, during that break scene, that was enough of a chill phase for Bigsby to get his fatigue back.
Yes.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
Me too. Thanks, Miko.
It's very important because once you hit 7 fatigue, you only roll 2d6 and not 3.
Ooh.
All right, so this doorway is kind of in a lighted building we see up ahead of us here.
Yeah, so there's a building that seems like it's closed down as opposed to all of the other ones that are around it. There are signs that say that it's closed for renovation, but you do notice that the door is cracked open.
Okay. I think, yeah, Francois will just go in there and slam it open with his fist. Hello? Anyone here?
Okay, doing
Police.
the Leroy Jenkins.
When he does that, you see Bigsby was in the midst of sliding in silently.
Like part way through the door, and then it's just like.
Cass will turn to
Alright.
Teddy and say, I hope you understand which one of these two individuals you should be taking your notes from on the proper way to enter a building where there might be someone summoning a demon to kill you.
Most definitely.
Right.
As we'll say, the door slams open and Bigsby's closest, and then Francois right behind. You both hear, Bertrand, is that you?
No,
And it's a very like
this is the police.
kind of rough, feminine voice. At which point you hear scrambling.
Damn it, Francois!
I just continue like RoboCop, just start walking in there towards the
5
scrambling.
seconds
Not
to
even a
comply.
run. It's just like, yeah. I just start walking towards the noise. Nothing can hurt me.
Okay.
Every time.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going towards the scrambling.
Okay.
I'm scrambling myself towards the scrambling.
Okay.
I'd like to think that Cass and I are making our way in a semi almost mirrored state. Like it looks like we're two halves of the same coin coming in behind these two. We're being a mixture of aggressive yet stealthy, and we're infiltrating the correct by the book way.
Circle the building as I run towards the scrambling.
Okay.
I think actually as we start to enter, and Teddy does this, Cass like taps him on the shoulder and makes a gesture for him to like move around to the side inside the building,
Mhm.
and she actually fades back out to the outside of the building,
Okay.
assuming that they're going to chase this individual either to the door or to a different exit, and so she's like monitoring that.
Okay. All right. So you're just outside. Teddy, you're kind of gonna skirt around the inside on the other side, like the other direction. There's a hallway that looks like it leads off the direction that Cass was pointing. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bigsby, you're following the RoboCop.
Francois.
I thought I was in front, but yeah, sure.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, either one of us
You're-
can be in front here, but basically, yeah, I was just going in loud.
The two of you are kind of doing this where you're trying to be stealthy and he just keeps walking.
I mean, I heard scrambling, so the element of surprise, the stealth is already out the window. So I'm just going towards where I heard the voice and then the noise
Okay.
of what sounds like trying to gather things before running away.
So the
Cease
two
and
of you,
desist your activities.
the two of you enter what looks like a larger area where some kind of construction or some kind of industrial things would take place, but you're really not sure what goes on in here as a lot of it has been removed. It looks like they're in the process of stripping out parts. But you do hear some muffled cries coming from up a stairwell off to your right, and it looks like there is like a balcony that you came out from underneath it, so you'd have to like go out further to see the top of, or you can go up the stairs.
Let's see. So that's only sort of indication of where people are that we have at this moment.
Correct. Yeah, it sounds like the noises are coming from up the stairs.
Francois ascends the stairs and begins to just walk directly towards any sounds of life.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going up the stairs.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna let RoboCop go in just in case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if someone's gonna get shot, it's me.
Okay. And Teddy, you're like moving down this hallway pretty quietly, trying to like do things by the book and being aware of your corners and like checking behind doors and all that. And you get to a doorway that the door has been taken off and is like laying over somewhere. It looks like it's been damaged. It also opens into this large area, but you don't see the stairway. Essentially, you're going to enter out into the other side of the building, and so you don't really have a good perception of what's going on yet. Outside, Cass, you don't have any signs of anyone coming out yet. Everyone
Sure.
good? Okay, I just wanted, before saying anything further, I almost asked if something hit you. Does a 9 hit you? A gout of fire erupts from the balcony, striking Francois pretty soundly.
Toasty.
Burns away your overcoat. Your hat begins to char and cinder. How close are you, Bigby?
Okay, okay.
Oh, I'm probably like a step or two behind.
Okay, so you also are going to take that to fatigue, as it is like a gout of fire that shoots out over and engulfs the entire area.
Okay, so I take 2.
Yeah, both of you will take 2.
Okay.
I assume we're moving into a conflict.
We are now in a conflict. Yup.
Right.
Some of the booze soaked into his jacket catches a flame.
You hear some muffled screams.
I paid good money for that.
And some chanting.
I think still on fire, he just walks forward without stopping.
Okay. As you get to the top of the stairs, you see this. These work tables have kind of been arranged to hold. Looks like a fairly tall creature, kind of covered in thick skin and warts. Has a really large jaw that juts out with some tusks, and it seems like it's bound and gagged and is like trying to get away, while a gnoll lowers a wand that is still glowing slightly at the end and is chanting something, and you notice that the stone next to the larger figure starts to glow slightly.
Freeze, you are under arrest. And he will advance on the knoll to arrest him.
Okay. So technically you all choose who...
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I had a question. Did
Yeah.
I see like from the windows like the burst of flame?
I feel
and all
like
of that?
you probably would have noticed like the flare. Both of you, Teddy, you would have definitely seen it because it would have like shot out into the room.
Okay.
You wouldn't have seen where it came from specifically, but you know it came from the balcony above you, Teddy.
Okay, so that's totally fine. I just wanted to know because that could trigger one of my partner boosts that I have left.
Okay.
If and when I get an opportunity to go.
Gotcha. So now you all choose who goes first.
I think Francois got to choose in this instance because he was the one that kind of initiated the circumstance.
You know, I'm down to go first if other folks are down for it. I'm just kind of straightforward here. So yeah, he sees a guy doing magic, and we're here to solve a magical crime. He's like, "You come here."
Okay. What do you do?
I go up and I grapple him and pull him away from whatever he's trying to do.
All right. Go ahead and roll a conflict. So 3d6.
86. Cool. And I'm not trying to kill him, so I'm not going to use any of these. Alright. Oh. So 9.
9. Excellent. So you will get to take another turn.
Well, him or anyone.
Right.
else.
So
He
your
can
side
get
gets to
knocked
take
out.
another turn.
Yep.
And it's going to, as you're struggling, you're kind of wearing down this gnoll who's continuing to try and chant, and she's like, "Leave me alone!" And she's trying to keep her paw out over the stone, and it seems to kind of flicker, like it's not really holding the magic that she's trying to put into it very well. Who will go next?
We're in a
Who do you want
conflict.
to go
correct?
next?
We are in a conflict.
I'd like
So
to think
I-
that because. Oh, go ahead.
Conflict. I have a partner boost.
Okay.
Throw grenades for destructive impact.
Big
read
speed.
this.
She is still resisting.
And I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm grenading it up. So that's a 1d3 collateral damage. Plus a 1d3 verb.
Okay. Okay.
And a plus 1d3 verb. So
So roll the collateral damage first.
Yeah.
how do you roll a d3?
So roll a d6 and just
D6
just-
divide by 2, round
Yeah.
up.
3. So 3 divided by 2 is.
So that's 2.
2 would be 2, yeah.
You said round up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
So 2.
that goes to.
That's the
Francois?
collateral damage.
Oh, right,
No,
right,
no,
right.
that's the collateral damage. Now he gets to roll the verve for probably Francois.
Yeah, let's go with Francois. So 3. 5. 3.
Now, do I add or subtract verve?
So you're
Now
adding.
you gain verve.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gain 3.
You
Yeah.
gain 3 verve.
Oh Jesus!
We get 2 collateral damage from basically tossing grenades and blowing up part of this building. And now Bixby gets to do a conflict roll.
How does collateral damage work?
So
it
at,
can fuck us at the end.
yeah, at the end.
At the end.
Although collateral
right.
damage also happens when you take your break. So because you didn't do any collateral damage, you didn't get chewed out by your boss or anything like that, and they didn't like.
Oh, okay. I was
Mm.
thinking collateral is something. All right.
It's
Yeah.
like if superheroes had to pay for
yeah,
damages.
Right.
So okay, I get it. I understand. So we had a collateral for that blade storm with that gnome. We had 1 collateral damage, just 1. But
Oh, did it?
yeah.
Oh. That
There's
meant that
better-
you and I had paperwork to do.
Yeah, you had paperwork during your downtime.
That's all right. Conflict roll. I got a 9.
A 9. All right, so your team is going to take another turn, and you're going to inflict 2 fatigue as like shrapnel flies up and hits the knoll, knocks over the stone. It stops glowing, but you hear the ogre fellow cry out, "Oh, it burns! Oh!"
Toss it. Boom, baby. And just toss it all out. I'm Mike Lowry. Let's get it.
How does a
Lowry.
burning feel?
I think it hurts. Francois.
Does it?
It does. It hurts. Who would you like to go next?
I'm picking.
Yeah.
Let's get Cass in here.
Okay.
Okay.
With all this fire, let's
so-
go for ice. Let's get some
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen. So as Cass sees this burst of flame, she immediately goes running straight into the building. No cares whatsoever about the impact of that. And then grenades start going off, and she just knows who did that.
Right.
And so I will go ahead and have her use her drain all warmth from a wide area
Okay.
conflict, which, similar to the grenades, actually also does collateral damage, as she is attempting to basically, in attempting to snuff out the flames and heat of the area, it's going to cause things to become brittle and whatnot. But hopefully this means that it doesn't get too far out of hand. So That's only 1 point of collateral damage.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. And I'm going to give the verve, I think, to Teddy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Teddy because he hasn't gotten to go.
How much
So
verb is that?
that's what I'm rolling now.
Oh, I see.
That is a 3, so that's a 2. So you got 2 verve from that. And then for my conflict, do I just want to go for it? Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna blow all of my verve, and I am going to use Blizzard. And unleash a freezing storm of ice and snow that basically envelops that entire area up there.
Sure. Does that also do collateral damage?
Yeah,
Of
but
course.
by spending all of my verve, it actually is a D3 instead of a D6.
Oh, nice.
Kev, that's static, man.
Yes.
That's
I was
3
just
points
looking
of
to see who it
collateral.
was. Okay.
Yeah, that's. Can you mute yourself, Kev?
I don't know why you're getting.
Yeah, it's been doing it the whole session. So that's 3. I rolled a 6, so that's 3 points of collateral.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much fatigue?
So, that's what. So now I need to do my conflict.
Oh, right.
Two 6s and a 1.
What are you gonna take?
I think I'll take the 2 6s.
Okay. All right. So you do 3 fatigue, add a verve back to yourself, and
Yeah.
your team takes another turn.
And the fatigue is technically doubled because of the blizzard,
Okay.
and because I spent the 4. Right, because there's 2 participants there, right?
There are.
Yeah, so they both basically take the full fatigue.
Gotcha. So are they doing 3 each
Yes.
for a total of 6?
Six-
or
six total fatigue.
Okay. Gotcha.
Is this discriminating against enemies and fellows, or?
Because I spent the 4, it is discriminating.
Okay.
But it
I
still
protect
hits
all
the,
of you.
It hits
Yeah.
the ogre, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
So I protect all of
Poor
you
ogre.
from the magic. Hey man, he's getting his life siphoned to
Right.
summon a demon. So if he gets knocked out, I think that's a good thing.
That's right. We'll kill him first, save things.
It's fatigue. It's not death. We're not doing blood damage here. At least that's the way that Cass justifies it in her
Right,
mind. She's
right.
just freezing people. What's the harm in freezing people?
So your team gets another turn. Who's going?
Yep. And I'm giving it to Teddy.
Okay. So Teddy.
So Teddy sees his fellow officers engaged in conflict with this individual. He is not very pleased that they are going to attack the fellow officers. So he is just going to grit his teeth, and as his eyes start to get that reptilian look, they start to glow bright yellow, and he says, "Bad move." And as he starts to move forward, he grows in size. He shreds out of his uniform as he turns into his true form, which is a blood red dragon that is about the size of an elephant. And he bursts through the
Nice.
doorway that he's moving through and comes into the room, and he throws his head back. And then he surges forward, and I'm going to use my conflict of Dragon Rage. I'm just going to go straight in towards this knoll. I'm going to try
Love
to
it.
take her out.
Can you fly?
So before you do
I
that, you should
can.
use your dragon form partner boost. Give some verve to somebody.
Dear
Sure.
God, wild animal.
Oh God,
I
it's
will
coming
use
right
my-
at us.
Attack!
Use my
Where's the new guy?
I'm roaring. I'll use my terrifying roar to distract the enemies.
First
Oh,
of all,
there
I
you
think
go.
that is the no
There you
go.
Plus
go.
1 verve to I'll say, because Francois is my partner directly, I'll give it to Francois.
Okay.
Wait,
And
how much?
Plus
then
1.
I'm going to
Okay.
yeah, it's 1. And then I'm going to come in. 3d6. Oh, that is 6, 6, and 4. So that is a 12.
Okay.
Jesus.
With
Nice.
doubles, baby.
Nice.
Yep.
The Dragon Rage does cost 2 verve, so that goes away. But it's going to, in Dragon form, you lash out against enemies with your talons and your teeth. Successful attack does the damage from the 12, which is going to be 3 fatigue to the Knoll, plus an additional 2 to the single opponent because of the Dragon Rage.
Okay. I'm assuming the single opponent is also the Knoll.
Right, yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure before
Yeah, and I come in and I just start raging. Then my scales flicker and move, and there's light that shimmers down my body as I'm just waylaying and just going into town here.
Someone call magical animal control.
And that does add a verve
Okay.
as well, which I'll give that to my partner.
no,
as
that's-
well.
If that's from the conflict, you get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically you all would have another turn. However, as the Dragon Rage fades away and Francois is holding this limp Knoll who's now unconscious, you realize that no magic is transferring between the stone and the ogre any longer, and the Knoll has been not eliminated, but the danger from the Knoll has been eliminated as she has been knocked unconscious.
They are a danger no more.
Knoll more. Brah.
How did that joke make you feel?
Good.
How did it make
made
you
me
feel?
good.
Embarrassed for you, to be honest.
Apply a different color coded score sheet and just update that.
Yeah, there's a pun one. There's
so many.
All right, what do you do with the unconscious sage?
I shake them. Wake up!
What? Oh shit.
Not yet, criminal scum. You have questions to answer. And I think, yeah, at least Francois will be interested in getting this Knoll situated, so he will find the nearest door to keyhole and get to the precinct if other folks want to do stuff.
Perfect. So, over the course of the next... Hang on. Wait, I gotta check something. As you all head through, or am I assuming that... Are some of you not going through the door?
Does the building actually survive when we exit?
That's what I'm
Because
checking.
by my count, we had a total of 6 collateral.
That's what I have,
damage.
too.
I find it's best not to stick around the scene of a crime too long.
And I also find it hilarious that the giant dragon did the least amount of collateral damage.
I mean, it was still...
You mean as opposed to the siege automaton who's done none this whole game?
When you change...
Well, I didn't use my big Super Saiyan move, which
Right.
would have done 1d6 collateral damage. So
When you change, do you do damage? I was gonna ask and I forgot.
when I change,
Yeah,
no, it doesn't say anything about
gotcha.
that. There's just abilities
would-
that I have when I'm in dragon form only that do a crap ton of collateral damage.
Yeah. If he had used his other partner boost, it would have done some additional collateral damage.
You know, the building itself, because it had already been gutted from the renovation, wasn't all that bad. There's like some destruction in the area that you were, but that was actually all mostly just where the workers were kind of like keeping their tools and such. There is a little bit of paperwork that you have to fill out for harming a civilian in the course of rescuing said civilian. But yeah, you have a lot of paperwork and you end up getting home much later than you expected to when you left home this morning.
If I may, what I would like to do in my dragon form is say, I'll do all your paperwork for you. And I'm going to scoop her up and zip home with her so that she could be home in time.
Aww. She's like zatting you with items.
Thanks for
She's
helping
like,
me
no.
on my first day, partner.
Actions speak louder than words.
Well, having resolved this case of breaking and entering and theft and murder, what did you all think of Arcane Crimes Division?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, cool
I
stuff.
love the storytelling aspect of it. I really like the simplicity of the roles. Yeah, overall, I give it a thumbs up. It would have been nice to get a chase in,
Yeah,
but
there was going to be a chase if it went that direction, but it didn't, so...
Yeah, no, and it's one of those games where I think it would benefit from being able to sit down and like really hash it out with a group. You
Yeah.
know, kind of like get into the characters after a while.
Totally.
See where things evolve from here. You know, but
Yeah,
overall, easy enough.
having a fairly limited time one shot is interesting to check out the system, but I agree. I think it'd be a lot of fun to sit down and do a longer game that isn't
Yep.
beholden to making sure we end by a certain time.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we do a round of outros? Kevin, why don't you start? I'm sorry you're having audio issues it was kind of glitching in and out, and now at the end it's just like ee. But
I don't know. I've changed absolutely nothing.
yeah.
Who knows? So yeah, I'm Kevin. I found it online at Kev Ran Games. I'm the host and the game master of the Game Night Heroes podcast that Jeremy has been on.
Yay.
So check out some episodes that we have that he's been on. There's more stuff coming. More on that later. I'm sure we will really get into that at a later time. But I'm also found every other Saturday night on the Murder Hobo Inc. stream where I play several different characters. And I am currently in a Mothership game over on Guild Superior channel, which is on Sundays. And also on Monday, I am in a New Varden game. So come check us out, all the cool fun stuff we get to do.
You just have all the cool fun stuff going on.
Oh yeah, and more to come, more to come, more to come. We're going to be running some more La Notte Eterna, which is a really cool Eternal Night setting for 5th edition. And I've got some cool more Power Rangers stuff. And also another game of some pirates coming up too. So I literally am doing everything. So
Jeez.
catch me outside.
Who you passing it to?
Let's pass it over to my partner in crime, Francois Mortimer Thorn.
Well, thanks. No, yeah. So, Mortimer Thorn. I'm on Twitter at Thorn's Roost. I do art things, primarily kobolds, followed by some anthro stuff, and generally all fantasy. I got a few projects in the works, like my own RPG that is slowly getting there. We're still pre-public stages at this point. We're getting it all lined up, so I don't sound like a complete idiot. But yeah, that should be popping out soon.
We are playing it next Friday evening here on this
You know,
channel. As long as the tech gods don't.
As long as
again.
the gremlins stay away. I realize gremlins are jealous because they don't have their own TTRPG,
Right.
but you know, so you gotta leave us alone so we can do that. But yeah, hopefully soon.
Nice. And who are you going to pass it off to?
Oh gosh, Bigsby. What you got?
Hey everyone, I'm Sid. I was playing Grixton Bigsby tonight. You can find me on social media at _Sundance Sid, as well as every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Gaze Tavern channel on our Dirty Deeds show, our Eberron campaign, and a whole lot of other places. I pop up everywhere.
Yeah, tomorrow
on
night
this
you'll
channel.
be back here.
Yeah, tomorrow night I'll be back here.
In fact, 3 of you will be back here tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, well hey, come back and join us tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, find me on social media, say hi, invite me to your table. I promise it'll be a whole lot of fun.
Nice. And
No,
Miko's left. Do you want to pass it to Miko?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna pass it
Don't
on.
do that. Don't do that. You shouldn't do that. Hi, I'm Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. You can hit me up on the Twitters at the _OKS _GM. You'll find links in that bio to all kinds of stuff that I do. I produce things, create things, GM things, play things, all the things. In the not too distant future, you might want to be paying attention to my socials for some more of my homebrew world of Eastera, potentially ending up somewhere out there with maybe one or two of the faces that you're seeing on screen participating. We shall find out in the future.
Excellent.
This has been a ton of fun, by the way, Jeremy. This is my first time on Wanderers
It is your first
Haven.
time on here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And I had a ton of fun.
And technically it's Thorn's too, even though Thorn's first time was supposed to be like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
I'm really waiting for it.
right. It's going to be awesome next week. Awesome. I'm Jeremy Hochhalter. You can find me on Twitter, WHPubs, here on Twitch at WH Publications. I publish things. I make things like this. I collaborate. And that's all I've got for tonight. Tomorrow night, join us at, I want to say it's 7 p.m. Eastern. Does that sound right?
I think
No.
9
Is it
9
8?
p.m. It's 9
9
p.m.
p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern.
It's 9. Wow.
Yeah, it's 9. Same time
It's-
as today, y'all.
It's almost
Same
the
time
same.
as today.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern tomorrow night. We're doing Star Trek Adventures. Kevin's already been on it, but Miko and Sid are joining for the first time. And that should be that. Go ahead and head over to Kickstarter to check out the campaign that ends soon for this here game that we played, Arcane Crimes Division. I think it's a good time. The book itself is actually really inexpensive. I have great hopes for what the final product will be. You can head over to DriveThruRPG and pick up the Quick Start and get a feel for it. You'll see all the rules that we followed tonight and kind of get a feel for what hasn't been included, or you can check out the Kickstarter to see some of the details that they are kind of throwing out there for what will be in there when it releases. Thanks for watching tonight. We hope we will see you tomorrow at Star Wars. We're going to have a Star Wars marathon while we're playing Star Trek. It's a plan.
Danger,
Thanks,
Will Robinson.
right?
Danger, Will.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Lost in Space Wars.
So say we all.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.